Welcome to America's Third Party. Long live liberty. Welcome everybody to America's Third Party. Welcome to our nightly show. Welcome to, I guess, Truth Tuesday. Another day goes by, and every day we do a new video just to, keep you informed and give you something to look at when you're watching our show in archive on YouTube or wherever you are. A lot of people are having big disagreements about what's happening in the weather, and the weather really is going through some changes. But I'd love to paint a pretty picture here, but unfortunately I don't have a pretty picture to tell you folks. We're looking at planetary omnicide. And it's not because you're polluting out of your muffler. It's not because you're eating beef. It's because somebody who runs our government is poisoning the atmosphere. There is a willful attempt to kill off the planet right now using a variety of techniques called weather modification. And when people talk about chemicals and the possibility that our government is keeping a clean environment, we are so far off the grid of a clean environment I can't even tell you. The Clean Air Act of 1970 is so outdated it's not even funny. And what they're doing with chemtrails on a daily basis over our skies is literally seeding clouds in the Northwest and creating drought in the Midwest and California. And this is a willful attempt to turn our economy upside down, because the most popular state, the most economically powerful state is California. It just happens to be one of the largest economies within our nation. So what better way to cripple our nation than to take California down? And it's a great way for rich people to buy property cheap, because everyone's going to want to leave a drought-stricken California coastline. And these people who want to ultimately take over our country and assimilate what we have are the ones that are behind this nefarious and insidious plan, dropping chemicals in our sky on a daily basis. Now, I kind of get tired of talking about, how NASA admitted this and how we've seen this kind of thing going on, but so few people really hear about it outside of the mainstream media. So it's important that everyone has kind of an epiphany regarding what's really going on in order for us to actually fix the problem that seems to be everywhere. All right, so we are essentially a full-service political chat show for all of you who are interested in talking about chat issues, politics. Feel free to talk about anything you want tonight. Tonight's focus is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And I don't care if you believe in God or not. I'm not here because I'm religious. I'm here because I'm political. I believe in God. I have a personal relationship with the Lord, but I don't need to share that with you because I personally believe that we all have our toolkits. We don't need to keep pushing it on each other. Whether you want to go forward with faith or no faith, it's your choice. In fact, I believe in something even more powerful in a way. It's called free will. And you look at the idea of free will and it makes sense. If somebody wants to screw their life up, let them. Don't pick up all the pieces for people. But certainly don't leave people with no opportunity, and don't force people into menial jobs like the two parties have over the past 50 years. Thank you. Thank you, Katerina. Appreciate that. You're overdue on the big one in California. Meow TV says it could happen any day now. Anyone with half a brain would already move out. There's been a lot of earthquakes in various portions of California, San Francisco Bay Area, San Jose area. I don't have a religion. I was originally baptized Catholic, and I was raised Catholic up until the age of 11 when I decided I wasn't Catholic anymore. It was a conscious decision I made because I didn't believe that the ritual of Catholicism was necessary for me to have faith. I made a leap of faith, if you will. And, you know, I looked around, I saw all these other people that, you know, were researching and finding out their own path in life. Some were agnostic, some were atheistic. And I chose the path that I'm on right now, which is to do good things, to not hurt anybody. I'm not a Muslim. And Oklahoma is way earthquake prone. That's true. And you got the possibility that earthquakes could be happening because of fracking. Now, again, we're killing the earth with fracking. Our country is allowing an immense amount of toxic fracking. And I recommend a clean fracking technique called natural fracking. Nobody seems to be doing it, but if you want to get bubbling crude out of the ground when there's shale oil, all you have to do is take really hot boiling water and put it right down a hole, and then inject cold water at about 5 or 6 points around the circle. And you got yourself a little cauldron of bubbling crude. It'll come right up. But that's the way we can do it naturally without benzene. And we certainly don't need to be leasing off our property. The truth is, our country leases lots of land for $5 an acre. And these companies that are, many of them foreign owned, come in and literally drop cyanide in the ground. I know this is unbelievable, but it's true. They drop cyanide in the ground to extract more gold out of abandoned gold mines throughout our nation. And the EPA sits back and they don't do anything. In fact, they're complicit in leaking the toxicity into rivers like the one that just leaked in Colorado. The EPA was responsible for leaking that toxic cyanide into the river in that area. And it's almost like they wanted to reclaim more land for more mining operations. Seriously, they let other areas go bad with this incredible leak, which now opens up more mining opportunities. We've got the worst possible people profiting from our country, folks. And we're all asleep at the switch going, well, I guess we can trust our government officials not. We have no trust among thieves. And these people that are running our country are becoming thieves. They like their paychecks. They cling to their little salaries and all their perks, and they love the revolving door with industry. That's how big companies like Cerberus and the Carlyle Group have been able to go beyond laws and make business deals which should never have been made. Cerberus is the company that owns Safeway now. And they made a big deal with a company in our area offering a market called Hagen on the West Coast here. An incredible opportunity to buy up 125 different stores, markets, and put a Hagen name on it. Well, Hagen, 4 months later, is now in bankruptcy. And I'm wondering how the Cerberus Group, which is a buyout corporation, managed to swing the Federal Trade Commission in approving this entire deal, and now we're looking at another massive foreclosure. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. So you see, they use the back door of government to make these things happen. Somebody, I guess it's Dan Quayle, because Dan Quayle's the CEO of Cerberus. Yeah. He must have made a phone call and said, yeah, I'm going to make you a deal, you know, you're going to make this thing happen here, you know, because that's how it works. That's how the government's been allowing bad deals to go forward. Now that's how people profit from closing down our industry or many of our businesses. So only 5 companies now own the food chain that you and I rely on every day to survive. And I don't consider that a good deal for us because we need a little bit more security. We don't have a national grain reserve, that's the truth. There's no federal grain reserve for your cereal. If the store is empty of cereal and you wonder where it's coming from, it's not around. They're not going to be able to do it. So what is Cerberus? Cerberus is a mythical creature, which is the, essentially this is the creature. It's a 3-headed dog that guards the gates of hell. So this is the future here of Cerberus Corporation buying up all these massive companies and owning them and basically saying, yeah, we'll do whatever you want just to buy you out. Because that's what we do. We're the buyout company. Yeah. Hi, everybody. But yeah, it's a pretty seriously screwed up creature, isn't it? So how would you like this creature guarding your local market stores? Because that's what it means, Cerberus. Okay. You think the Rothschilds sabotage Vaughn? They'll buy Mark out only to shut it down. Dave's message, damn them. Is that true? Because if that's true, that it's not going to stop us, because we're running on different networks. Yeah, we'll always be at America's Third Party, and our following knows where to go to watch us. Now, I'm going to broadcast on 2 other networks tonight just to, prove I'm right. I'm thinking of actually, oh my God, check this out. No tears. WTF. Robin Williams' widow forgave him. Doesn't blame him one bit for taking his own life. Wow. Okay. There's a lot of suspicion. I even said that I was suspicious of his now widow. But Robin Williams died very suspicious circumstances. Didn't look right to me.
An ABC News exclusive. Williams' widow, Susan Williams, speaking out for the first time since his death last year. And Amy had a chance to sit down with her. Amy?
That's right, Robin. After more than a year, Susan Williams is breaking her silence, opening up in an emotional interview about her husband's suicide and revealing a previously undetected medical condition in his final months. She very much wants people to understand exactly what led to Robin's death and what made him the love of her life.
It's 0600. What's the O stand for? Oh my God, it's early.
With his quicksilver wit.
My first day as a woman, I'm getting hot flashes.
And a quiet gravitas.
You don't know about real loss, because it only occurs when you love something more than you love yourself.
There was no role too great for the brilliance of Robin Williams.
Love. These are what we stay alive for.
And yet his most extraordinary role was off-screen, as a family man.
It's the best love I ever dreamed of. It's what I always dreamed of. A love would be. It's just really based on just honor, love, respect.
Robin and Susan had a 7-year relationship, a happy and very private 3-year marriage. But on August 11th last year, life took a drastic turn. Susan left for work that morning, thinking her husband was still asleep.
Okay. That must be the reason why he was left there for 15 hours and nobody checked him. Yeah, so no tears. Yeah, that was a pretty standard story. I didn't consider that to be that earth-shaking. Robin's kids hate her, really? What do they think? She's like a money-hungry woman who's going after the big bucks? That was the third wife, really? Well, maybe he wasn't all there and you may know him better because you're like him. But, oh, she cries in the video? Do you know where in the video? Because I can't play 6 minutes of a video to find out where she's crying. If you could check that out for me, I appreciate that. Thank you. Here's the circumstances. He's hanging from a door with a belt, and it's hooked over the top of the door. And Robin Williams was, what, 5'9"? Or was he 5'7"? I think he might have been 5'7". Yeah, he's 5'7". Yeah. Yeah, and doors are... I've got a door right here that's 6'8", I think it is. So if the belt's hanging about a foot down from that, it's got to go around his neck and up through the hook. So he's on his tippy toes. He had nothing to drink. He had no drugs or medication in him whatsoever. They did a toxicology report on him. He came up clean. He was 5'7". Yeah. On his tippy toes, he's 5'11". I mean, it's a stretch. Okay, well, my door is 6'8", but yours could be 7 feet, whatever. He tried to kill himself by slashing his wrists poorly, and then decided he wanted to string himself up. At the 3:15 mark? Okay, thank you. Here she is. Thank you very much.
There was blood. This towel was so soaked with blood, and he was just downing his head. I just screamed, Robin. What happened? What did you do? My best friend was sinking, you know? He pointed to the door, and I said, did you hit your head? And he nodded. His only response was, I miscalculated.
Did it ever cross your mind that he could be suicidal?
No. It was what was going on inside of his brain, the chemical warfare that no one knew about.
His autopsy later revealing he was suffering from a debilitating brain disorder, Lewy body dementia.
Lewy body dementia is a complex disorder with many different presentations. You can see very dramatic effects in thinking, emotions, and behavior.
Body dementia could be suicidal.
No. It was what was going on inside of his brain, the chemical warfare that no one knew about.
His autopsy later revealing he was suffering from a debilitating brain disorder,
I just screamed, Robin.
Okay, so I think what you're talking about is the lack of tears. Is that what is that what you're referring to? It's early onset Alzheimer's, yeah. And a lot of people that don't kill themselves with Alzheimer's. Okay. The fake hysterics, right. Lack of realism, thank you. It's almost like she's purposely feigning the tear, crocodile tears with a crying like this. That type of thing, yeah. You believe her? Well, you believe your rabbi too. Which you should, because you're you know, he's your leader. But maybe he's human too, you know. He could be a sinner. Have you ever thought your rabbi was a sinner? No. No, I'm not making anything anti-Semitic. Hey, look it. The fact is, everybody's flawed. But is this woman putting on crocodile tears, or is she real? That's my question.
What happened? What did you do? My best friend was sinking, you know? He pointed to the door.
Okay, this is where, does she have any tears to wipe off? That's the question, because I see her reaching up to her hand and then wiping something. I want to close in on this. Target, wipe face.
I just screamed, Robin. What happened? What did you do? My best friend was sinking, you know? He pointed to the door.
Okay, something coming out of her nose. All right. That's an indication of something, don't you think? Something in her nose. Something was dribbling down her nose. You think she's being honest? Well, like I said, you can think whatever you want. The 15 hours of not seeing her husband, not even saying hello to him in the morning, he was sleeping. I mean, it's not dumb. It's we're trying to get to the truth here. Okay, now let's go to the next one in the lineup. David Carradine. Another auto asphyxiation accusation. Awesome Carl, hello. Well, that's my point. That's why the woman's got these behavior. No, this is my hair. This is not a wig. This is called my hair. Yeah. I don't know. It just looks to be a little suspicious. The crocodile tears, I agree with you guys. So, Kwai Chang Caine, the Shaolin priest turned actor, turned phenom. Actually, it was a fictitious role, but he took it seriously, and he was in Bangkok investigating child slavery rings and doing a movie at the time. And his team left him alone for the entire evening. Thank you, Katerina. And I got to tell you, this there we go. This death is suspicious. Keith Carradine, his brother, investigated this. And Keith Carradine came up with a $30,000 investigation which determined that he was in fact killed. Did you hear any about that in the news? No, you didn't. Another suspicious death. Okay, let's go on to the next suspicious death. Are you done with this one? Okay. Another cry at 127. Okay.
And I said,
quiet gravitas. Her husband was still asleep.
Rebecca, his assistant, came over and I said, call me when he's up, or have him call me when he's up. And then she sent me a text. Said, he's not up yet. What should I do?
What should I do?
And I said, wake him. And then she called me back.
What did she say?
I can't.
You can almost interpret this as a happy face, you know? Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I sense insincerity too. And I'm the divine divider. I can determine truth or falsehood instantly. Like when we first met Hoppy, the guy who claimed to be a military operative working for the NSA. I looked at Sarah, I said, Sarah, this guy is not what he says he is. And we both agreed. We couldn't understand why he kept this lie up so long. And he kept saying he was an NSA agent the whole time. Yeah? They caught a kid who was calling the cops on people. Well, send us an email, AmericasThirdParty@gmail.com. Yeah, tell me about it. I'll pass it on to law enforcement. Yeah, no red eyes, no red nose, no shaking, no tears. The woman was clearly pretending to be sad. I think that it belies deeper guilt in this particular case. No, we had an opportunity to talk to him on the show, and he kept professing to be an NSA agent, and I said, you don't have to say these things. I was trying to give him a benefit of the doubt, to give him a chance to come clean. And I even directed him away from talking about his, quote, profession, which wasn't a profession at all. No, she's clearly involved somehow. I suspected, yeah. My suspicion is that she's the one. Look, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and smells like a duck, it's a duck, okay? Okay, thanks, Unscary Scarecrow. A swatting kid has been caught and sentenced. This is on the East Coast, right? Okay, I don't want to give him any credence whatsoever, so I'm not playing the clip. The popular feeling here is that Robin Williams was killed, I think. Don't you think? Yeah. Well, our gut feeling, the intuition of this room is implying that the wife was just hiding her truth or guilt. We're doing Truth Tuesday, and we had the wife. I'll show it to you. Come on in. Hi, Sarah.
The wife of
Robin
David
Williams.
Carradine?
No, I just talked about David Carradine for the heck. But yeah, this is his widow, Susan.
Yeah, Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Widow.
And.
Can you move the screen so I'm not like.
Yeah, sure.
Feel like I'm cut off.
Is that better?
No. Like I'm just saying, expand our screen.
Okay.
There we go. Thank you.
All right, she's going to pretend to cry here. You see, there's no tears. In fact, I'll go so far as to highlight her face and put that over my face. What Scissor Fight said, this is a woman feigning anguish. Are you okay?
I'm sorry. That 20-minute car ride,
I just screamed the whole way. Rob.
Did you get to see him?
Yes. I got to tell him, I forgive you with all my heart. You're the bravest man I've ever known. You know, we were living a nightmare.
That nightmare at its worst in the months leading up to his suicide. The 63-year-old was secretly battling depression, anxiety, and paranoia, which drove him to take his own life, hanging himself with a belt.
I would like to know. Exactly what what his paranoia was. Do you think he was paranoid that somebody was going to strangle him? That would be kind of ironic, wouldn't it? You know, I mean, I'd like to know what his paranoia was. You know. Welcome to the America's Third Party, everybody. We don't want to exploit the tragedy of that man. He was a true genius at comedy, and we'll never get him back. It's over. Either way, we'll never really get to the truth unless we give her a lie detector test, but she doesn't have to comply. You know. This is all hyperbole and assumption. Hey, wait a second. Hold on there, buddy. Our gut feeling is in the room that she's not telling the truth. Is that okay for us to have those feelings? I had a chance to not talk to Robin Williams, but see him before he became famous. In 1975, I went to a theater, and my sister was trying out for a part, and he came into the theater in his Eastern European getup that he used to use around Beverly Hills High. And he was like 29 when I was about 15, 28. And I was sitting there 15 years old looking at, my sister rehearse and do a little tryout for a play in Hollywood. And he walked right by me. And I've never seen a person who appeared to be a star more than Robin Williams. He embodied the star mystique. He had talent up the wazoo. I mean, I did not know that he wasn't from Eastern Europe. There's no way you could have told me this guy's from another area of the world. He looked like an immigrant. He talked like an immigrant. He played the role with perfection. But something told me that at the same time something bad was going to happen. I had a premonition that it wasn't going to be a great life. Something was wrong. He was too in need of attention. That's what I was telling myself. He was an attention hog. And many of them are covering a deep-seated depression. So if you buy the depression thing as being the cause of suicide, that's fine. I can see your argument, and it's probably a good argument. But without a legitimate suicide note, without anything in his stomach like alcohol or drugs, it's doubtful a person reaches that level of that bottom where they kill themselves. They're usually using enhancement drugs like alcohol to get to that level of depression, wallowing in their self-pity or something. Rarely do you ever see a suicide where nobody uses anything. It's unusual.
Why would anyone watch that cough?
We're not going to do this, no. We're not going to engage in violence, gratuitous violence for you guys. If you want that, go play a video game, Go watch television. So how was your day?
Good.
Tiring?
Yeah.
Big, long
day.
and tiring. Wow.
My shoulders.
It hurts?
Yeah.
Oh, it's all tightened up again? Yeah.
More like, I just hope I'm not coming down with something, but it kind of feels like that.
The back of the neck kind of thing?
Like the shoulders were right here, all the way down, were like
flu-like symptoms. Yeah, flu-like symptoms.
I know.
Well, maybe... Oh, you don't have to touch me.
I mean, you can touch me, but I don't want you to get sick.
No, I'm not going to get sick. I'm impervious to illness. Well, a little back rub might be helpful, but what might be good is to, definitely get the heater on in the bedroom, and give it a nice warm.
Maybe the other shoulder.
And do the orange juice thing. They say vitamin C still is effective at building the immune system. The old Linus Pauling came up with this theory that vitamin C helps prevent colds. Well, they have found that vitamin C does bolster your immune system, so maybe there's some truth to it. Same with chicken soup and all those things. Those old wives' tales actually have some truth to it.
Yeah, I'll go do ginger and...
Salt water, ginger, yeah.
Ginger, lemon, honey.
Yeah, so Chemtrail Project is an entire new thing that this person has given us a link to. Project took. Campaign to ban chemtrails and geoengineering. It's a Project UK is part of a growing worldwide movement. Good. Yeah, feel free to click on that, folks. They've created the directive to present hard, irrefutable evidence that this illicit global crime is not merely a proposal, but is indeed happening today. Yeah. Very cool. I'm glad that I heard about this site the other night. You came in and posted it. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. It's coming out of the UK. Yeah, go for it and post it whenever you want. Thanks, Roger. Roger Wilco. All right, so what you can do to bolster your immune system is perhaps the only thing you can do, prepare yourself for the obvious distress of living in a world where they pollute what you're breathing. I can't tell you a day that goes by when I drive into town and I'm breathing tons of diesel fumes. People drive diesels. They like diesel trucks around here. It's like a favorite form of transportation in our area.
They report finding needles inside the Halloween candy. Wow.
Is that? I thought that was an urban myth. Yeah, Pennsylvania, really? Somebody's doing that?
Or somewhere.
Oh my gosh! Look at this. I'll show this to people. 2 reports finding. Now this is an article where it says 2 report finding news needles. You see where computers are writing the news stories?
Yes.
2
reports
finding sewing needles.
Well, it's either that the computers are writing the news stories or their people are just not as intelligent as they should be.
Well, if these people can't spell and they're in the journalism business,
they can spell because they have spell check. It's spelled correctly. It's just grammatically incorrect.
Grammatically incorrect. Thank you. Wow. That's really scary. I thought that was an urban myth that those, razor blades and apples and all that, but that's really serious. Oh, that's great. Thank you for that bit of information, Carl. I had the other link I wanted to bring to everybody. He brought us about bots, robots.
Oh, you're going to talk about bots, and I've got some bots to talk about.
You do?
Yeah, I thought I was going to save it for Thursday, but...
Oh, well, no, I just wanted to mention that he brought a link to us about robots being very close to fully developed and ready to go. I have to find it. Now, we are sending troops into Syria. You know that that's happening, folks. This is something at America's Third Party we're morally against. Yeah, if you have that link to the bots, Carl, go ahead and post it again if you can.
Still cast, D-Rob?
I don't seem to have it in my... For some reason, I don't have it in my list. I don't know why. I thought I... Yeah, I need you to, yeah. I thought I had it, and it's a really interesting article, and I can't believe I didn't bookmark it, so now I really need you. Yeah. Yeah. And Barack Obama issued an insane new executive order. This story just broke yesterday, and people are freaking out. This is really shocking. He issues this insane new executive order where anybody with a criminal history could now be chosen to join the military or any government agency. According to Breitbart, the order is described as banning the box that would delay an investigation into potential employers' criminal history until later in the process. Employees' criminal history. It's a waste of time and money. Why delay the facts? Well, this action will better ensure the applicants from all segments of the society, including people with prior criminal histories, to receive a fair opportunity to compete for federal employment. So they're literally telling people that they want people to hire criminals. And this is a kind of a liberal mentality that is pushing this agenda of letting anybody, even with a criminal history, get an apartment. I saw this in Washington State, that they were actually making it so people couldn't show their apartment history when applying for a new apartment.
News.discovery.com.
There it is. Thank you. This is a remarkable story too, and if you definitely going to keep it. Thank you, Carl. Appreciate it. Real life RoboCop taking shape. Now this is going to go online very shortly, Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at this. This is a policeman. For real. RoboCop may be blasting its way into theaters this week, but in reality, a cyborg like him is probably still 100 years away from
controlling our streets.
But don't tell this team of undergrads from Florida International University they're already hard at work on a real-life RoboCop. This isn't the same story, Carl. What the hell just happened to the story? How the hell did the story morph?
Well, because it started from a story like this at Discovery News to some morphed story. RoboCops are going to be on the streets by next year.
No.
Some before
this story has changed, Carl. Do you know this? Notice that? Yeah, this is the wrong link. Thank you. Carl got the wrong link. That's okay. Hey, I'm not. You think Ben Carson is a closet homosexual? I'm not going to say that he is, but he sounds a little effeminate, I must say. It's his choice to talk like that, but if he were to talk more like, well, make no mistake about it, well, let's be clear, and be a flamer like Barack Obama is, that'd be different. BBC subtitle, Fail Angela Constance. I don't know what that means. He's not a person with a backbone. He's kind of wiggly, you know? He kind of worms around when he talks. I don't like that. Breaking, Atlantic City, New Jersey. Rebel casino owner proposes housing Syrian refugees at the old casino. Oh, thanks. Yeah, we need to bring these Syrian refugees in. After all, we're the one that caused the Syrian refugee exodus from Syria. Oh, yeah, sure. I'm against that, by the way. Here's the... Yeah, this is the link. Thank you. RoboCop is coming. Robots that can patrol the streets and hand out tickets could hit cities in 2016. Unbelievable. It's serious. It's not going away. It's going to get worse. Pretty soon they'll be knocking on your door going, we have detected THC emanating from your window in your bathroom. Sir, do you have a child inside this house that may be under the influence of marijuana? You think Ben Carson prescribes himself a crap load medical marijuana, yeah? I don't think he does. Thank you, Carl. You're awesome.
What is it?
Yeah, this story about the Syrian refugee is another story that's going to... Apparently, the article about RoboCops was real, see? For real. This is the real story. So Sarah was trying to think, though, oh, no, this isn't real. She already had disputed the whole story, and she had dispensed with the whole idea of RoboCops by the time we'd finished.
Down.
She'd already wrapped up her debunking process.
Scroll down.
A
Scroll
telebot.
down.
I am scrolling. Researchers build prototype for real life. We want to use telebots to give disabled military and police veterans an opportunity to serve in law enforcement. With telebots,
Scroll down. There's nothing in the article that says they're patrolling the streets by 2016.
Really?
Nothing.
Whoa. Nothing in the article. She actually read it. Wow. She read the article. Okay. So it's just a headline, folks. Nothing to worry about.
And it says could hit cities. Well, that's just, could be in different high schools or colleges.
Fail. So the truth is, we have nothing to worry about.
That, Carl, thank you.
Yeah, that's just BS, Carl. Forget it.
There's
no way robots will be here. Oh, what are you saying?
Well, I'm saying that, like they said in the first article, it's like in Scholastic, it's like that, yes, they're on their way, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be here next year.
Okay.
That's basically what I'm saying.
Okay, well, on another note...
truth. See, I'm speaking the truth.
It's true that they've got a utility that Colorado police officers are using now in Colorado to smell pot from people's houses. It's called an olfactometer. And it's used by cops and police law enforcement professionals who are violating your rights. In Colorado, of all places. If you can imagine that. And now, Washington State University, WSU, has created a breathalyzer that determines whether you have marijuana on your breath. You know, that's a serious tool that's going to be used to put a lot of people in jail and take away a lot of licenses. So, you know, this, welcome to the police state. Now, Sarah wants proof. We'll give you proof. I don't know what's going on with my links tonight. Let's just do, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting story.
It's a good story. I like the story. You really are having the pain and the... Yeah, I heard it wasn't that good. Donald Trump isn't very funny. Yeah, that's the problem with having a guy who doesn't know how to laugh at himself. Okay, this is getting to be ridiculous. I'm going to do a history check. Hang on. You know, I stay up till the wee hours of the morning, you know, putting links in the libraries so I'd have instantaneous contact with them in our show. And
yeah, maybe I do, Cater. But it's hard to get my shoulders in the actual bathtub.
I would consider getting a... Yeah, a bath would be one good way to do it. Yeah, she does look like she's in pain. You might want to take an aspirin just to deal with swelling or issues, you know, or, you know, something like that. Here it is. Washington State University has come up with a breathalyzer to basically take your life away. And the level that they have set in Washington State is 5 nanograms per milliliter. And this organization, ridiculous failure of a drug war, trudges on here in America. Now researchers at Washington State University are working hard to cure cancer. No, they're not. They're gonna not save babies. They're actually developing a handheld portable device to screen people's breath for THC. After a second round of testing, these researchers apparently hate themselves, will do anything for state grants and a pat on the head by a big brother, plan to put these in the hands of police sometime in 2016 so the failed and ridiculous war on marijuana can continue to generate money. Now, the law in Washington, by the way, was proposed by attorneys, prosecuting attorneys that want to put you and your family in jeopardy, arresting your father because he smoked a joint 2 days ago. Exactly. Some ridiculous thing like that. And this 5 nanogram level has no scientific proof whatsoever that it validates that somebody's out of control. In fact, the studies that they did on sobriety showed that people with a 15 nanogram per milliliter were slightly off on one of their lines driving. It's not like they're all over the place like when you're drinking booze. But they're still going to take licenses away and employ this draconian technique to invade our personal lives. If they altered it to like 15 nanograms, that'd be fine. But at 5 nanograms, everybody's guilty. 58% of our state voted in favor of legalization of marijuana. 58% of the state's probably driving illegally right now. It's that messed up. Anyway, I heard, and I want to verify this is the truth. Let me look up Chicago lottery, but somebody said that Chicago is not paying out on lottery. Let's see if this is true. Illinois lottery is not paying, but people are still playing. Wow. Yeah, the Chicago Tribune has announced that the Indiana lottery is not paying people. They've been sued. Check this out. So, see, the states are going bankrupt. That's the truth. From the Chicago Tribune. State budget impasse has screwed up everybody who gets lottery money. A pair of lottery winners have failed federal lawsuit, still selling tickets despite how the heck they can do this. They can't pay prizes greater than $25,000 until state lawmakers pass a budget. Isn't that funny? Okay, I'll be right back. Sarah, thank you so much. You're going to need to get some rest real quick, so I'm just going to warm this coffee up and I'll be done. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for helping.
Who's Omo? Alright. I saw something I was going to look up on. I'm going to do it for Tech Thursday, but might as well use this time while I'm here. Oma. Oh. Okay. Yeah. I have something to share with you guys on Thursday. Tiny Tinker Robot. Okay. You thought the lottery was supposed to pay for education. Taxpayer burden should be reduced when lotteries are introduced. You would think so, but sometimes they do it to supplement education, and they never seem to reduce anything. Okay. You don't have... Get your Ozobot now. Let me see. Shop. I want to see how much it is. So $60 for an Ozobot. That's pretty cool. Very cool. Oh, he's been talking about my Halloween video. Yeah, I'm sure. That was a pretty fun night, wasn't it? Mega Millions, you say, is still decent? You won the lottery, but you gave it off to Ed. Oh, that's funny, Big Ed. Big Hug. That's very funny. As first evidence of elusive ghost particles found inside a particle accelerator. Thank you, Scissor Fight. David will have will like that one. Interesting. And then the other one I was going to look up is Bebot. Is it cute? So cute. Alright. So I'm definitely into robots, it's true. Look at this. Special price, $600. I don't want that. Class bundle, $500. Probots, $800. Probot Duo, $200. It's amazing, all these bots. But why doesn't that come up? That's very strange. Suspected bots on the thing are playing online poker. wonder if they'll get back to me. Alright, I'm going to come back to the chat room because you guys have been chatting a little bit, but not really. The real Shrek 86 or the troll one? I can't tell. Have I ever watched Robot Wars? Yes. In fact, so I've been doing a miniature version of that, Scissor Fights. If you win the lottery, what? Oh, you'll buy a new Special Olympics button for Carl's church. Oh, okay, thanks. A button. Do you follow that with $1 menu at McDonald's? Unbearable, you're hilarious. So you guys are all hilarious. I should watch Robot Wars again. What women can resist that? You mean you won Mega Millions and all she gets is an Olympic button? I didn't get the Olympic button. He was going to give the Olympic button to Carl. That's what I thought. Hero Zero, let me look up that. You're happy with the 30K you'll be making as a CNA? Well, I'm hoping just take one step at a time and get through the classes that you need to. I've never played Hero Zero. It's a free browser game. Normal people show their true superpowers. Go train, fulfill missions, earn money, and improve your equipment. Free? And it's on the Android app. Is also available for Android. Play your character on the way, chat with your friends, and defend your team anywhere. Hero Zero. I've never played it. That looks kind of fun. Arcadey. Of course, someone like Arcadey would know that. Heroes create my hero. What is this? David has this open too. Oh, yeah. So, how much? Okay. That's pretty cool. I just hope they all arrive at the same time. Okay, I'm going back to Hero Zero. Create your hero now. Head, hair. How cute is that? That's kind of cool. Awesome. I've never played that. I might have to check it out if I ever have time. You would buy at a tent and a can of Heinz beans. Good job, Amber Sponheim. Great games for kids. Are there any educational ones, or are they just ones to play? These look like they're just ones to play. They don't necessarily teach anything.
Oh, okay.
But they look cute.
Yeah. Heat up this room tonight. I noticed that the computer will heat up the room in the evening, you know, if you close the doors.
Yeah, that's true.
I turned the heater on in the other room.
Oh, thank you.
Alright.
Alright, nobody's saying anything because I'm kind of boring or something.
No, I mean, it's okay. Ed would appreciate this tent.
Oh my goodness.
On. You know, that's just rude.
Oh my goodness.
Nobody does that anymore.
Well, for one thing, it's difficult to find.
Fairy Helen? Did you check out Fairy Helen?
I did.
Oh, okay.
But I was saying...
Those are all games, those individual games. Every one is a game. Look at that. Carrot game. You know, the truth is, we are sitting on massive amounts of technology to have everybody learn more and grow, and ironically, we're being dazzled. Don't you get the impression we're being led to the slaughter? How to play. Press the button and hold the mouse. Oh. To drag a leash. Oh, that's kind of cool.
You can leash more than one dog. Okay. So
that's a fun game site, yeah. You want to lease some dogs? You qualify. You got to tie these dogs down.
bunny is trying to go forward. Oh, see, he's eating, the dogs are eating the bunnies.
It could be a copyright issue.
But kids don't learn anything playing that.
Yeah, they don't learn anything playing that. There could be a copyright violation. You don't know. We can't talk about anything, otherwise it'll be a copyright violation. So we can only talk about, generic things, fun stuff. I'm sorry, that's a copyright violation. The word fun stuff is trademarked. Someday we won't be able to talk because someone will own every single phrase we say. And that day is now.
Yeah. That's cute, but...
Cool game, fun. Teaches you to yank the what back, okay. I'm loving the latest Firefox patch. Really? I didn't know there was a Firefox patch to love. Games are not fun, but you can learn from. Oh yes, it's true. Oh yeah,
Yes, there are fun games that you can learn from.
I'm sorry, the word from is copyrighted. We have to delete it from our language.
Don't eat Dungeness crab.
I've never had a good experience.
Warns.
What's going on with Dungeness crab? Boy, I'm glad I'm not eating Dungeness crab. Is it radiated? California Health Department is warning that do not repeat, do not repeat, do not eat, repeat, repeat, do not eat crab. California Department of Public Health is warning that potentially deadly levels of domoic acid have been found in Dungeness crabs along the Oregon and Santa Barbara County line. Severe poisoning can kill a victim. Short of that, poisoning can also lead to permanent short-term memory loss, coma, seizures, and other frightening symptoms. Domoic acid is a naturally occurring toxin related to the rise of any tiny plant called Pseudonychia. I'm beginning to think it's more like radiation. They don't want to tell us. If they said don't eat the crabs because it's radiated, don't eat the crabs because it radiated, that would be a little more frightening, wouldn't it? Domoic acid is much bigger. Will you consider auditioning for Star Trek on CBS? No. No, I don't. I'm not a professional actor. I have no professional training whatsoever. Are you the casting agent for that event?
Is that Friend Friday? Scissor Fight and Amber?
It'd be more like
That's true.
Clark Gable. I'd be walking around like Clark Gable. Frankly, Scarlet, I don't give a damn.
Oh, Firefox?
Frankly, Scarlet, I don't give a damn. David, I wouldn't mind being in it if you can wait for the new series. Well, yeah, why don't you audition, Carl? You need the work. You and Molly could really benefit from extra money. Many of you are buying technology that you know will last a long time. I take care of my technology. I make it work. The truth is, if you take care of your toolkit, your tools will work for you. I believe in making things built to last. And I know it's completely opposite to what our government is encouraging corporations to do right now, is to outsource and send young men or send jobs over to Thailand and New Delhi. And yeah. No, Dave, I just think you're talented would kill as Captain Dave on the show. Oh, really? I could be like Captain Kirk. So, Sarah, beam me up. And I could actually. Make it so. You could be like, I'll
make it so.
Make it so. I'm sorry, Captain. That's completely illogical.
I'm sorry, that does not compute.
Watch Deadwood. Really, I'm gonna watch Deadwood. I'll check it out on Netflix tonight. I'm watching The Following with Kevin Bacon right now. I'm trying to get into the series because I lost it, and now I'm getting back into the series. It's a good show.
I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. It's about
a serial killer.
Yeah, well, a whole series of them.
They're like, not a one serial killer. I just watched one of those, and I was like, no. No.
You know, a lot of movies like Criminal Minds, the episodic series that has, 250 episodes of how to teach people to be a serial killer.
I don't know. It's just crazy.
I mean, it's true that aren't we seeing violence, gratuitous violence in all our film and video games now?
Mm-hmm. Not all of them, but...
Is it true that they're trying to desensitize us to violence? Because look at The Walking Dead. Oh, my God. I mean, you literally are glued to it. I like it too. I can't help but like it, but you feel guilty watching somebody eat somebody's flesh. You know, it's like, this is too gross. But could you maybe get another episodic year of shows so I could watch it? You know, they're playing us. The bottom line is humankind is susceptible to morbidity and fear of death and also sex. So they're using those two factors to really manipulate the American people. Well, let's be clear. Whoa, that is a wild picture. That's almost too wild, Beekman. Yeah, I don't know if I want to actually look at that because it's so disturbing. Yeah, I'm actually not going to keep it in my library, and that's rare. Having a kid roam around in a circle pulled by her ponytails is very, very, very bizarre. Yeah. It's a doll? Oh, then it's okay.
No, don't keep that picture.
No, it's a terrible picture. I mean, it's as bad as the picture of the illegal aliens that were supporting amnesty.
Oh.
Sarah said I had to get rid of that. Well, you better get, you know, like a hot shower and then jump in bed and turn up the heater. Seriously. I don't really want you to have to go through this. Yeah, she needs to rest. You can tell she's kind of overworked. That's a doll.
I don't care if it is a doll. It's still disturbing.
It's a violation of the doll's rights, okay?
I'm not saying that, but it's just disturbing.
Well, robots are going to have individual rights soon. You know that. No, they do. Robots are... We talked about this at dinner the other night.
We talked about this at dinner the other night.
Corporations under Citizens United have rights, and a robot can be a corporation, just like you're a corporation. If you're a U.S. citizen, you belong to the United States Corporation, and you're a corporation within the United States Corporation. You didn't know that, did you? Well, the Federal Reserve has pretty much hijacked our entire monetary system, folks, and people like Ron Paul were very effective in spreading the word about the Fed being a private corporation. But we never did anything about it, and even his son Rand is out there talking about auditing the Fed still, when we've got a reckless private bank printing up money whenever they want and giving it to their cronies. Thank you. You can go. You need to rest. You really do. And
it's true.
And orange juice is something I would have next to your bed. Just get a glass of orange juice and sip that. Yeah, I don't like his son either. I like Ron Paul insofar as I'm really glad he awoken the American people to the fact that the Fed is a private corporation. That's an important little tidbit to know. We've got a central bank that's privately owned that makes money every time we print it up. The renewed Walking Dead for another season last week, though. Oh good, yeah.
Well, good.
That's why they're, you know, Sarah and I are glued to last year's shows, and we haven't even seen this year's shows. I don't use any chemicals to clean the hot tub. I'm not dirty, so it's not like I'm, you know, having any dirt accumulation. And since Sarah and I are the only ones that use it, we simply use a bromium tablet once a week. That's all it takes, and it's got a little chlorine in the bromium tablet, and it keeps it nice and clean. We have a filtration system that runs. It's an industrial filter. I'm not dirty. I never get dirty. It's one of the benefits of living clean. Cleanliness is next to godliness. I've got King Kong teeth. I gotta use a King Kong toothbrush. I'm not dirty at all. In fact, I can't remember a time in my life when I really got down in the dirt and did like the Survivor thing. When I was a kid, I used to do that. But when I work, you know, even when I work in the yard, I'm always using gloves, and I'm not, you know, I do get my hands dirty, though. I'll admit that. My fingernails. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I go without a glove, and sometimes I don't. Mounds have nuts. Almond Joy doesn't? No. Almond Joy does have nuts. Mounds doesn't? No. I'm not sure. Well, I showed them the price of worms. Could you go up the worm chart?
Yeah, I did.
Take a look at that. That's $21 a pound for 10 pounds. But you're right about worms. They want $35 for 1 pound.
Yeah.
Look at this, folks. If you want to open up a business in your backyard, I mean, this is about the best you could do. You need about 1 pound of worms to get started, and a bin of peat moss and
you don't
compost.
need peat moss.
You don't need peat moss. You use grass.
What you really need, no, actually grass gets it too hot.
Okay.
I have a whole video on this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I watched it last night, so I'm pretty knowledgeable.
Okay, cool.
Basically, what you need is, there's an awesome company, I think they're pretty awesome, called Bugabay.com.
Okay. Bugabay.
And they recommend their Bugabay compost bin because what you do is you dig it about 1 foot into the ground.
Okay.
And then it's made out of cedar, and it has a center section. It's kind of loose boards, but it's a center section. And you start filling it up with about 2 inches of food scraps. And then you put a 2 inches of bedding material on top of it. Your bedding material can be, it's really good if you're able to get aged manure, preferably not from a field, but from like a horse stall.
Okay.
That's the best thing to put on it because worms love that. But if you can't get the horse manure, then you can get you can use peat moss, but some people don't like using peat moss because they say that
it's acidic.
No, it's not that it's acidic, but peat moss comes from a bog, like a natural bog, and it's like, why take away from nature?
Oh, I see.
Kind of thing. But so if you can do it at home, they say at home use manure, and a lot of people always try to give away their manure, so there you go. And so then you fill up one side of their system, and then once that's about almost like 2 inches from the top, you stop filling that side, and then you start filling the other side. And then you slowly rake it away, and the worms will naturally go down and go to the other side too. So it's pretty cool.
Well, this has been a very informative time to learn how to make worms and sell them for $37 a pound.
I know.
It's more than any meat I can buy in the market. I mean, that's better than Kobe beef. $37 a pound for worms, everybody. What are you waiting for? Start your own worm bin. Come on. Think of the potential of making big bucks on worms in the future. I know, already on the first day. That's because it's a complete scam to pump up the sales. He probably bought his copies just to get the thing rolling. I wouldn't doubt he bought the first 50,000 copies.
That's pretty cool, Master Meatball. Styrofoam eating mealworms?
Could happily dispose of plastic waste. This is a possible Truth Tuesday discussion. Cool. Thank you. Well, you know, your arms and your legs.
Welcome to Nerd Watch, where we find the nerds who matter. Sure, the lowly moth has a unique and annoying ability to somehow get into your pantry and...
Gosh, that's just the worst. Okay, hang on.
To solving Earth's massive plastic waste problem. Jun Yang, an environmental engineer at Beihang University in China, got the idea after making a gross but important discovery in his own kitchen. One day, he picked up a bag of millet and found that the plastic was eaten through and moths were flying out of the bags. Inside the bag, larvae were crawling around. Yang guessed correctly that the gut bacteria in those common baby waxworms was perfectly suited for digesting plastic.
Oh, wow.
Yang and his team took samples of that bacteria and found 2 species that fed happily on polyethylene, the plastic in many bags and bottles.
Perfect.
So the researchers placed the bacteria on strips of plastic to see what happened. And after about 2 months, the fibers became weaker and their mass decreased. There are other kinds of polymer-eating bacteria, but the hungry waxworm does it better than practically any other kind. It's a big find, and just in time. As much as 13 million tons of plastic flow into the ocean every year, and that figure could get 10 times bigger over the next decade. Waxworms are pesky and gross, but they just might be environmentalists too.
I have some waxworms in our backyard. I've got some earthworms in our backyard. Thank you. That was really good. Yeah, we can propagate these things. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, so we've discovered a way to make $37 a pound for worms. Start a worm website like speedyworms.com. Speedyworm.com is making bucks. Selling worms and aphids and spikes and mealworms, crickets, leeches, waxworms. You know, I tend to believe that they're trying to make meat disappear. They want to make sure that the human beings stop eating meat. So I almost believe that this recent report by the World Health Organization that processed meats can contribute to causing cancer is more of a scare tactic. And when they said that the hot dogs have, this is kind of like an Agenda 21 issue. The hot dogs have DNA, human DNA in them. That's a serious problem.
No, wait. You got one thing on.
Okay. Let me clear chat here. The solid worm growing business ideas back in the 50s, yeah. Now, China owns the U.S. I got that, but I'm not Donald Trump. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, clear the whole thing out, wipe it out with a sponge or a towel. And go for it. All right, thank you, Scissor Fight. He's got a cutworm in here with a real interesting graphic. And thank you, Sarah, for coming in and giving me a spell. I've got the rest of the night.
Worms are not vegetarian.
That's really interesting. That looks like an uncle I have. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. The little claws, that's fascinating. And 8 little, looks like a millipede. It's strange. Is that a real creature? Drag King, I'm afraid she's not feeling well. David, I bet they'll start charging us for air soon. Yeah. That's why I'm keeping all my air in my lungs. I'm not releasing it. I've figured out a way to get a zero carbon footprint by not actually exhaling. It's pretty good. It was a sexy beast, yeah. Reminded you of your last girlfriend after you broke up. Amber Sponheim, media fundraisers. Let's see what the government's kicking in. The television news network lobbyists are fundraising for Hillary Clinton right now. Yeah, I figured they would. We've got an unbelievable task to take on the mainstream media. It's almost like you might as well go ahead and battle Goliath. They have so much power and reach, and they're all controlled by money, and we're using word of mouth to break down people's beliefs that somehow the Republicans or Democrats are going to solve the problem. We believe that money should not rule politics, that ideas should. But you're seeing money and media time and fundraising for Hillary go right on. It continues on. It's like a machine. Over the last 2 presidential debates, both Democratic and Republican candidates have asserted that the television news media is biased and has done a poor job of informing voters of the most pressing issues in the election. And while their focus is on things like the type of questions asked by debate moderators, they're overlooking much clearer signs of potential conflicts of interest. Fundraising disclosures released this month and in July revealed that lobbyists for media companies are raising big money for establishment presidential candidates, particularly Hillary Clinton. The giant media companies that shape much of the coverage of the presidential campaign have a vested stake in the outcome. From campaign finance laws that govern how money is spent on advertising to the regulators who oversee consolidation rules, the media industry has a distinct policy agenda. And with it, a political team to influence the result. Wow. There you have it, folks. You're looking at the backbone of the corruption and control of the media over our election process right there. Very good article from The Intercept. Thank you. Well, let's be clear. Yeah. Read 1 Timothy 4. And the end of times, it will forbid us to eat meat, right? Exactly. I'm sure the days of meat are going to be over soon, folks, because they're trying to get us all to eat GMO soybean products, which happen to cause cancer in laboratory animals. And we get back to that whole concept of depopulation and how the government wants to depopulate. And this goes back to Agenda 21 and all the rich people like Ted Turner who want 95% of the world gone. There's no reason for this. We could easily support a larger population on this planet if we just dealt with distribution properly. But the people with all the money want to now use their money to shut down any free and open democratic or populist movement. That's what's happening. Tell me about it. A lot of people are like freaking out. If Hillary does win in this competition, after lying about Benghazi and hiding her emails and willfully looking for a way to hide her emails, no justice whatsoever, there's a lot of people that are thinking of becoming Canadians. I know for a fact that that's happening. I meet them all the time. Yeah, and think of this guy, contemplating his future. That's a really cute little gif. He didn't make it. That's Spanky, isn't it? Spanky died, I think. Yeah, here's a kid contemplating his future, and his future's over. It's Spanky, yeah. Well, everyone gets old and everyone lives their life the way they want to live it. But if you want meat, folks, you're going to have to buy your beef byproducts now because, like I said, it looks to me like they're trying to get rid of the meat production system. They just want to go to soy-based GMO soy. There's a reason why soy milk is so prevalent in our society right now, because most of it's GMO produced. But when you look at GMO rat study that was done that produced tumors, it really freaks you out. And then Monsanto has an entire department aimed at shutting any kind of genetic research down and discrediting it. Alfalfa data with $50? Really? I did not know that. So yeah, stop Monsanto is a huge thing we want to take on. Unlike Hillary Clinton, who endorses GMOs, we want to stop Monsanto. And the truth is, Monsanto is using their power to continue to push for legislation that forces us to eat GMO food and discredits any real studies that, like this one, which showed that the rats cause obvious tumor production when they eat GMOs. The reason Monsanto said this was not a legitimate study was because there were only 50 rats in the study. And additionally, they said that the rats were prone to growing tumors. What they failed to mention was that none of the rats had a tumor when they didn't eat GMO food. The ones without GMO were tumor-free. Yeah, so they're pushing soy on the market, and most of it's GMO now. So you got to really look for soy that's not being genetically modified. And this is why I was a big supporter of the organic food business, because before this whole GMO discussion started, organic food was all about pure ingredients, as best as possible. I mean, why add toxins to our environment? Common sense tells you, why would we want to put glyphosate in our ground and have our kids, play around this terribly toxic product, which is a byproduct of Roundup. Glyphosate is the new boogeyman. Here's a story. It says Monsanto's cancer-causing glyphosate endangers California's Hispanic and Latino communities. I wonder why that is. EcoWatch.com has this story. It's fun. I get to read the news and talk to you guys about stuff. A new report finds that more than half of the glyphosate sprayed in California is applied to state's 8 most impoverished counties. Roundup. So they're putting it around the most impoverished counties, folks. Again, you're looking at depopulation here. The analysis also finds the population in these counties are predominantly Hispanic or Latina. Hey there, Frankie. Isn't that interesting? They're spraying for weeds at the city level. They've got glyphosate rolling out every day when you drive by. Oh yeah, it's called Kill the Human Race, and it's working pretty well. Man, we need a new president and a new direction more than I can even tell you, folks. This is like every single issue on the environmental scope, or the environmental end of things, tells me that our system is so screwed up, we need a brand new reformer. And I hope to be that person. There you go. Food. The ingredients in the food, none of your business. Brought to you by Monsanto. Food. It's what's for dinner. They don't really care. Yeah. If they can produce a lot of crap with no vitamins in it, they will. They're good at it too. Empty vitamins, hardly any vitamins in the food. It's like eating cardboard. I'm sure many of you have gone to the market and bought peaches that you can't even eat. You paid good money for it too. I mean, seriously, I know. These are being transported from Bolivia, off year. We're doing things that are killing off our population, and our government does nothing to intercept what's happening except bother every single truck that goes over the border. I guess we're doing something. We're trying to find products that have one bad vegetable in it. If you have one bruised tomato on a trip from Mexico into the U.S., they send your truck back. No, I'm making that up. But there are laws that stipulate that there's strict laws that stipulate that our food has to be, fine. It could be covered with pesticides, but if it meets their criteria of shipment, they're okay. Meet Michael Taylor, former VP for Public Policy at Monsanto. He says, I poison the food supply. Now meet Michael Taylor, Deputy Commissioner for Foods of the Food and Drug Administration. I'll protect you guys from people like Michael Taylor. Wow. So here's the revolving door of government again, folks. Remember we talked about it earlier with Cerberus and the Carlyle Group. And the Carlyle Group was an organization that got all their benefits from George H.W. Bush. He was like a consultant to the Carlyle Group. Just like Dan Quayle is a consultant for Cerberus, the huge food producer now. I know, lots of raspberries with no flavor, right? Coma Toasted, thank you. I understand that they're genetically modifying mangoes. Mango. Yeah, the mango. Yes. My voice changed now. We put the cool in the coconut. Yes. Dave, the same as with green tea and rice. It does contain a huge amount of poison. I had no idea, Frankie. I wouldn't doubt it. Tell me about it. Our government's doing diddly squat. My biggest problem, when I started looking into all of these cases, and I realized that not only does Hillary Clinton endorse GMOs, but her chef, Hillary's chef, former chef, introduced GMOs into the White House. Ex-White House chef hired by Hillary Clinton is found dead. There's a lot of people found dead who are involved with the Clintons, folks. So many people don't realize that this is a story that could easily take you down a very long rabbit hole. But this is the chef that recently was found in a bottom of a river, a mile and a half off a trail on a hike that he took in Arizona, I believe. Searchers found the body of 61-year-old Walter Scheib on Sunday night in Taos, New Mexico.
Chef has been reported missing. The disappearance of Walter Scheib comes just a month after he visited Scranton and was interviewed live on Newswatch 16. Our Sarah Bynowski is live tonight in Scranton with the story. Sarah.
Well, Scott, authorities say Walter Scheib has been missing since Saturday in New Mexico. Rescue crews, including dogs and helicopters, have been called in to look for him. People who know him are holding their breath.
I'm shocked and I'm very worried. I'm very worried about Walter.
Mary Beth Scalise considers former White House top chef Walter Scheib a friend. She's known him for about a year. And the news that he is missing in part of New Mexico hits hard. Scheib's girlfriend told police he didn't return to his home in New Mexico after a hiking trip.
He did talk about his love of the outdoors and hiking and fishing, and how much he liked the area here, the way that it looked because of all the mountains and the opportunity to do outdoor things here in Pennsylvania.
Scalise helped organize Chef Scheib's visit to Scranton last month. He entertained people at the Colonnade in Scranton with his cooking and personal stories about life in the White House with Presidents Bill Clinton and George W. Bush.
He had a story that went with every course. And so he would, throw in some politicalness, some family stuff, it'd be funny, it'd be laughing, and then he'd be serious.
61-year-old Scheib was last seen in the Taos Ski Valley of New Mexico.
Okay, everybody that knows the Clintons up close is dying. Well, I'm going to give you a link to the Newsmax story here. You can track it yourself. But yeah, Walter Scheib was 61 years old, and he's dead now. He died back in June. So we're still on a roll here. Now let's talk about all the people that are dead, and it just doesn't make sense tonight, okay? Would that be kind of an interesting thematic image show? I don't know the Clintons, and I've never met them, and I probably won't, Thank you, Katerina. Even if they were to pass the torch or something at some time in the future, it would be very awkward for me. But my concerns are that there's been adequate research and study into what's happened with the Clintons, and there hasn't been. We haven't seen anything substantive to hold on to and say, yeah, we've got this endless list of circumstantial connections to the Clintons and all the dead people that died of mysterious deaths along the way. I can take you to the Clinton death count, but there are more important targeted hits that I should talk about that perhaps push those aside. 47 known people dead at the Clinton death count. I'll get you that link in just a second. But in the meantime, I want you to look at some of the people that are, a list of people that have died, mysterious illnesses, deaths, etc., that no one can explain. Yeah, I'm going to say Paul Walker, Aaron Schwartz, Breitbart, Christopher Kelly, David Kellerman, Deborah Palfrey, Michael Hastings, Mark Madoff, Bill Cooper, Nancy Schaefer, Bill Schneider, Vince Foster, General Worley, just for starters. Okay, here we go. Joan Rivers, right. We could add Joan Rivers. Thank you. Okay, starting with Paul Walker, his death is still a mystery. They never did a discussion of what happened. The truth about him dying in that Ferrari is kind of distorted by the fact that the police never really followed up on the case. That alone tells you something, doesn't it? I'm far from programmed. I'm going to ask you to kindly shut your pie hole there, Puffington host. Yeah. If anybody's not programmed, it's me. Thank you. Now, Aaron Schwartz, another guy who was involved in creating Reddit, and he had a strong box for protecting journalistic privilege and rights to emails, and that was something that the government didn't want, I don't think. They went after him with a 30-year sentence for violating copyright. MIT information. The government pursued him. He wanted to face a lawsuit, he said. He told his fiancée he was in good spirits. He was going to take it on. He died. Hung himself. Oh, and Breitbart, he had a major band around his forehead the day he died in Westwood, outside of a bar. It looks to me like he was... I'm not a comedian, no. It looks to me like Breitbart may have been killed, and what's really disturbing is the coroner who did the autopsy died of arsenic poison the day he did the autopsy on Breitbart. That's a very suspicious case. Christopher Kelly, Rod Blagojevich's money man, the guy who knew all the different individual things about Obama's finances in Chicago. He was in a lumber yard, dosed up on pain relievers, salicylate poisoning. He ended up dying in the hospital, but the news said he died in the lumber yard. So there's a contradiction there. He was awake in the hospital for almost a day before they finally pulled the plug on him, or whatever they did. It's very suspicious. He may have known too much. As David Kellerman, the chief financial officer for Freddie Mac, the day of the hearings on Freddie Mac and their involvement in the debacle of 2008, the day he was going to testify, he was basically hung himself at 4:30 in the morning with his dog chain in the other room. His wife was upstairs. Very suspicious case with him. No, that's not, you're not helping at all. We're not brothers. And Deborah Palfrey, she was the madam that claimed she knew something about 9/11 and all the people involved because she was involved with prostitution in Chicago, in Washington, D.C. Deborah Palfrey ended up hanging herself, and she was interviewed by Alex Jones, and he made a point of asking her, "You're not going to commit suicide, are you? You're not going to commit suicide, are you?" Twice she said no, and the next day she was hanging from a rope in her shed. Again, the day before she was going to testify. What this is democide, folks. People being killed for what they're doing, what they're investigating. This is Michael Hastings. Thanks, Mad Dog. This is Michael Hastings, the guy who brought you General McChrystal and his failure to support Barack Obama in the Afghanistan war, which cost General McChrystal his job, but he told the truth. Michael Hastings was working on an investigation into the CIA director and how he was squelching journalists around the world, shutting him down. He died in a fiery crash. Very suspicious. And then Mark Madoff. He was the son of Bernard Madoff. He had $32 million in the bank, his 2-year-old boy in the other room, and a dog that he used a dog leash on himself. Killed himself the same way. They call them suicidings, but they could be garroted and strung up. Please mute Huffington. Yeah. Well, I may cut him down. Anyway, Mark Madoff died, no reason. Bill Cooper, many people, he's an insider into operations going on at the NSA and the CIA. He had a lot of information. He went public, and he wrote a book called Behold the Pale Horse, in which he exposed conspiracies like 9/11. Bill Cooper actually predicted 9/11 7 months before it happened. And he ended up dying a strange death too. Yeah. There was that woman in Paris that was killed called Princess Diana. Yeah. We could talk about Princess Diana, but don't say she was a, yeah. This is a, yeah. Nancy Schaefer, she was researching CPS, Child Protective Services in Atlanta, Georgia, uncovered a ring of pedophiles. Behold Pale-Faced Horse, that's right. Behold a Pale Horse, thank you. I call it Pale-Faced Horse, whatever. Nancy Schaefer ended up dying in a murder-suicide with her husband. The police said it was a closed case. She never would have killed herself, neither would her husband. They were both Christians, they had no need to die. And then this, of course, Philip Schneider. He actually, we do a lot of shows with him talking about existence of aliens and underground cities. No, Donald Trump didn't. It's a lie. I'm going to purge you. Yeah, Phil Schneider ended up dying with a rubber hose around his neck, and the autopsy result was inconclusive. They said it was a heart attack, strangulation. Vince Foster ended up being shot with a gun, and they found a gun. It looked like his body was moved from the White House to an adjacent area. Vince Foster is suspicious, everything about him, and that's all connected to Hillary, because she was, obviously being represented by him. He was her attorney. So a lot of things are buried in the past here, folks. It's really something that I can't even begin to tell you. I'd like to just say it's just a coincidence, but this guy, he was the only guy talking to Dick Cheney during the attack on 9/11. 9/11, during the attack, he was talking to Dick Cheney for 35 minutes, and Dick Cheney didn't scramble jets and defend our nation's New York City area or the Pentagon. He and his wife died in a subway accident, freak subway accident in 2009. 9 people died. They were 2 of the people that died. Yeah, we'll do a YouTube list of this. I have a video that I play on a nightly basis on our show. As you know, my hit counter's locked up, so it doesn't really matter if I do a YouTube on this. They've effectively shut down my hit counter. Hello. Okay, we got a call from Tony. Hey, Tony, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, Dave? Hey, you heard that hemp's legal now in North Carolina?
Yeah.
They start making it legal in more places. That's awesome, man.
Wow. I think the fact that they're going to grow hemp is something that we really believe in, and we believe hemp could be a very viable biofuel for truckers like you. You know, you'll be able to put that in your tank. There'll be a conversion process where you have to switch your filters out, because hemp will clean your engine, make your rig run better long term.
Yeah.
Just telling you, but it's a conversion process. That's what you have.
More efficient.
Much more efficient, but it will clog your filters a couple times. You'll have to change your filters. So it creates a problem for most diesel trucks, but if you keep switching back and forth, it's pointless. You either have to commit to a green diesel product or don't. And there'll be a price break, an incentive for you to buy a green diesel when we put that out, hopefully. Yeah.
Nice.
So what you have? Did you just have a couple routes of, you drive like a couple thousand miles a week, or what do you say? What's your?
What was that?
You're breaking up. Samuel L. Jackson.
You hear me now?
No, I hear you now. Yeah.
I'm in a bad area, Dave.
Okay, better get away from it.
I'll call you later, man.
All right.
I'm like in the middle of nowhere right now.
Okay.
Take it easy, man.
Take it. Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. He's on the road, folks. I thought this was a really cute little picture. Somebody said this looks like Samuel Jackson. It's just funny as hell. Okay. Tony for the win, yeah. Now, if Puffington says that Phil Schneider shot an innocent man in the bleeping head, yeah, we know he shot a person that was had him under surveillance. We know that. Yeah. Thank you. How do we know that person didn't threaten him? Do you want Phil Schneider's testimony on this? I'll do that later. New study shows ginger is 10,000 times stronger than chemo and it kills cancer cells. Whoa. Did you hear this, folks? You can get candied ginger at Trader Joe's. Seriously. Sarah likes it. She just eats it by the handful. Ginger is a fairly reasonable product, you know, at the market. But look at how effective it seems to be. Wow, that's exciting news from Health Nut News. I really like her site. She's great. The lady who created the site. Turmeric has widely been touted for its effect as well. The power of ginger. A new study found the pungent constituent in ginger known as 6-shogol was very active when it came to anti-cancer stem behavior. You know, we can't give you any recommendations claiming anything's going to cure you legally. But, you know, helping your immune system, showing good positive results, we can certainly mention that. Ginger Grant. And Beekman, in the spirit of Tangential Tuesday, which used to be the name of our show, brings up ginger. Yeah, like we needed to see ginger from Gilligan's Island. How appropriate. Oh, sit back down. And I can't even play the theme because then they'll kick me off the internet if I do. Wow. Well, there you have it, folks. They'll take an entire show, 4-hour show, and dump it if I play a theme from the Gilligan's Island show. Yeah, I used to watch that every day. I'm not a ginger, no. I'm actually a dirty blonde. I'm a dirty blonde. Yeah, Truth Channel is ripped now. They no longer have a Truth Channel. They got rid of it. The bulk out fresh ginger with the toes of a what blup blup blup. What are you saying, man? That's just the worst thing you could post in their show. I'm concerned about abortion mills. I really am. The truth is that these Planned Parenthood events are actually taking body parts from baby fetuses and selling them for profit. And nobody's talking about it except for Ted Cruz and myself. Full footage. Wow. 11th video catches Planned Parenthood. They got video after video. Every week we show a new video showing Planned Parenthood frankly talking about selling body parts. I've not purged the truth, Stu Man. No, that's a lie. That's your being derogatory. I'm gonna have to purge what you said. But I'm gonna let you leave that in there because in the spirit of free speech, I'll let you say that. But no, if you are demoralizing me or denigrating in the show, we will take you down. Yeah, first channel ever, the Truth Channel, and it's no longer. Wow. So this 11th video catches a video of Planned Parenthood abortion doctors selling abortion baby heads. I'm stunned by the whole debacle too. Hilarion, what you were saying was bordering on psychosis. Are you psychotic? Are you the Nazi coming in under a new name? We know you're psychotic. You can't help it. You need to seek treatment. Let's take a look here. The organization's released 10 videos exposing the scandal of Planned Parenthood selling aborted fetuses baby parts. Has released a new undercover video today with another shocking discovery. This latest video catches the nation's biggest abortion business planning to sell the intact heads of aborted babies for research. We played this the other night. I don't know where in the footage it is. Do you know there's a 1,000% increase in right-wing militias? No, that's a lie. Yeah, that's a lie. You know that even as far back as the 1970s, there were 10,000 militia groups in Florida alone. There's no increase in militia groups. That's a lie. You're fomenting leftism, communism, socialism.
Excuse me, are you all with Planned Parenthood in Texas? Did I hear that correctly?
I'm with Planned Parenthood in Texas. She's Whole Woman's Health.
Oh, with Whole Woman. Okay.
So yeah, but we're right now. We don't know what happens.
How far do you go at the Austin clinic?
21.6.
21.6. And do you ditch?
I use DIDGE after 20.
After 20.
Yes.
Okay.
So you guys can't take DIDGE.
Right. Yeah. DIDGE nukes the stem cells,
Okay,
so it's
right,
just
yeah,
no longer
yeah.
useful.
Okay.
We also.
Okay, so they're casually talking about moving heads. David Rockefeller is 99 years old. He had, I think, his 6th heart installed. You showed the video years ago, yeah, but it's still relevant. And it's still going on. And we started talking about the aborted fetuses as far back as 2 years, about a year and a half ago. But now, this is October 27th, 2015. Okay? From lifenews.com. Yeah, you can check out the link yourself. The Queen is 200. No, that's not true. No. Look, because you're against things doesn't mean you would finally murder people you think are engaged in what you dislike. This is what I want to do. And Hilarion, you're done. You're out of here. Yeah, the deal is I would like to see first trimester abortion law. Now, I can't propose it, but because I'm not a legislator, but I would love to see something that makes sense where we can somehow define what an aborted fetus looks like. You know, this is not above my pay grade. I don't mind telling you that the baby that would be in a woman's womb, it would be 12 weeks would be about this size. And they don't have a cerebrum. That means there's no pain centers. No, my view on abortion has always been I'm against it personally. From the very beginning, I'm against it personally, but I recognize a woman's right to choose to be a murderer. And I call it murder. That's been my view all the way back to 2008. I'm not giving women a license to be a murderer. I just want to give people a chance to become somebody that directs their future. I understand that women would go to abortion clinics that were run out of back alleys with coat hangers back in the 30s, and I can't see falling back into that level of disrepair. I mean, I can understand Planned Parenthood charging for an abortion. I would like to limit them to first trimester abortions, personally. Yeah. What does it mean personally? Is that I wouldn't want a woman who I impregnated to get an abortion, but I couldn't stop her. That's what I mean. Dave, those same doctors are now working in Planned Parenthood. What changed? Well, Planned Parenthood does abortions. That's what they do. The truth is, abortions reach in and take the baby's head and sometimes crush it with a forceps. And the child is ripped apart with a blender. Let's pretend like this baby is the ghost of babies past. All the fetuses out there can't speak for themselves, so let me speak for them, okay? You chopped my head off! I'm sorry. Yeah. So let's pretend like this is the baby fetus, walking forward, hoping to talk to you and tell you what's... Nobody's speaking for the baby fetus. It's horrible, isn't it? Now are you beginning to see what I'm talking about? You notice how when I put a picture in the screen, it creates an emotion? See, when out of sight, out of mind, you know, you don't even have any thought about all the dead baby aborted fetuses that can't speak. All their little baby spirits out there in purgatory. Or maybe they're in heaven, who knows? I'm not here to talk about religion. Either way, if you're an atheist, you're still looking at dead babies here. Well, I think we're done with that, the entire discussion. It's obviously too personal. I can't go there. Whew. So you're not as bad off as you would have been had you been aborted as a fetus. You were all baby fetuses at one time. Even I was a baby fetus. I remember when I was a fetus. Very few people have fetal memories. It's one of the benefits of being a genius. I don't know what I'm looking at, and it looks too weird to even bother with. I have never seen anything that weird, Beekman. You're reaching into the bottom of the barrel on that one. No, I was not an aborted fetus, but thank you for asking, Edgar. My mother and my father planned me. They said, David, there's going to be a new replacement for Mr. Rogers, and we think it could be you. They needed somebody to help out, and to give people a chance to share and to know the world as a beautiful thing and to make things better for everyone. And there needs to be a person to help clean this pitiful, disgusting environment, which is covered with toxic waste and run by a bunch of thieves and thugs. Well, thank you, Katerina. We could be neighbors. Won't you be my neighbor? Hey, neighbor. Ben Carson saves babies. Tell that to the 3 people that have malpractice suits against Ben Carson, okay, Stu Man? Yeah, the malpractice cases against that neurosurgeon are salient in this debate about his competence. Thank you. Surveillance planes with thermal imaging used to spy on American people. We profiled his show last night. I digested the link last night, and I got to tell you, it's one of those links that was just... It gets weirder and weirder. I mean, people like Rand Paul and Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton and Jeb Bush, they want more of these drones, surveillance planes, flying over us. Jeb Bush openly said that he supports what the NSA is doing right now. New internal documents from the FBI revealed the surveillance planes the agency flew over Baltimore and Ferguson during highly publicized protests also operated thermal imaging equipment. So they saw your junk if you were in Ferguson or Baltimore. If any of you are in Baltimore right now, the police know what your genitals look like. Thermal imaging can do that. Show hot spots. I don't dig it. And Ben Carson doesn't even think evolution is real, yet he's a surgeon? That's interesting. See, I'm an intelligent design guy. I believe that the world has been designed intelligently. There wasn't just a random event when the little teeny bacteria formed in the clay beds. in the south of France, which they believe life started there. Yeah, snap out of it. He didn't know how life formed. Ben Carson said that. Well, what can I tell you about a evangelical neurosurgeon with 3 malpractice suits? I mean, it reeks of the words affirmative action. Well, let's be clear. We can give everybody a good education as long as they're a minority. But if you're a white person, you're screwed. That's what I'd like to hear President Obama say. It'd be great. Tell the truth about how white people are singled out when scholarships come out. Personally, I just want to make it fair for everybody. I don't want to be singling out white people or minorities. I just want it to be an even playing field, equal protection under the law. And clearly affirmative action violates equal protection under the law. Clearly. Well, let's be clear. Let's be fair. If you're a bad doctor for decades who killed people, yeah, you're going to get sued. It's true. It's like if you're living in an area, a remote area, and you see UFOs, chances are you're going to get a light on your head. Yes, I'm a victim of, personally a victim of affirmative action. You're looking at a guy who graduated #1 in my high school class of 770 students and was valedictorian, #1 in the class. I was expecting to get a scholarship, and I applied for numerous scholarships to go to colleges, and even to 5 different colleges that I was rejected from. And very high SATs in the top 98 percentile. A+ record, 4.0 at the time. That's as high as you could get. They didn't offer 5.0 grade point averages back then when they lowered the standards. But I can tell you that I had every reason to be accepted at any major Ivy League university, and they all turned me down. All of them. And I got no scholarship money. So that in and of itself, in retrospect, is the reason. Affirmative action is the reason. So we talked about strange things.
Possible gateway into another dimension.
Yeah.
Possible gateway into another dimension. Possible gateway into another dimension. Possible gateway into another dimension.
This is an actual
Possible
photograph.
Gateway into another dimension. Possible gateway into another dimension. Possible gateway into another dimension. Possible gateway into another dimension.
Okay. It's a possible gateway into another dimension. It's an actual wormhole that appeared.
Dimension. Possible gateway into another dimension. Possible gateway into another dimension.
I get that. Holy son of a bleep bleep.
An astonishing video has emerged of a possible wormhole or portal appearing over Oak Circle.
Possible wormhole. This is an astonishing video. Ooh, no, this is artificial. This is not alien. I'm trying to tell you guys, alien, the whole concept of alien is so fake, it's unreal.
It shows the mysterious phenomena spiraling over the mountaintops before forming into a possible wormhole or stargate.
Most likely, this is HAARP, experimenting with upper atmosphere electromagnetic currents, running resonance imaging tests. Who knows? But it's certainly man-made. Okay, we've got alien encounters at all different levels. We've got a sighting here in the 1800s of an alien spacecraft that was appeared in a Photoshop program. See, there you go. Proof positive that Photoshop works. This same program was used to alter Barack Obama's birth certificate and pretend like he's from a U.S. state very effectively. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Well, your programming is obviously deficient, Puffington. You haven't fulfilled the higher expectations of your handlers. Hogslammer, they teach that Sunday worship is the mark of the beast. The Sunday worshipers they teach are Satan worshipers. They may deny this, but as long as they keep quoting Ellen G. White, they must have this vulgar heresy stuffed right back down their throats until they repent. Mrs. White was a heretic. She added to the scriptures. She added to the scriptures. You got to think about Ms. White, huh? Well, this is not Catherine Kuhlman. You're talking about Ms. White. Okay. Hawaii is not the homeland of Barack Obama. Kenya is the homeland. Yeah, he was born in Mombasa, Kenya. His mother, if she indeed is his mother, carried him by flight to Honolulu, Hawaii, where she publicly, as a two-week-old baby, announced that he was born there. Now, Hawaii was a pathway for illegal aliens throughout the 60s. I even talked about it in the 60s in my elementary school classroom. I actually did a paper on this. And ironic, isn't it? Yeah, I actually did a little immigration study, I think in civics in 5th or 6th grade. And I talked about Hawaii being the conduit for illegal immigration. I've been doing this since 1966, trying to fight for our country. I read all my emails. Yeah, I don't know about you, but poisoning, reaction, environmental pollutions, yeah, it's all going down. That's the truth, folks. Humankind is slowly dying off. Yeah. I wish I could bring you a hopeful thought, but we have such idiocy in our government that it's going to take a president like me to straighten it out, to waken people up, to get in their face. Part of my problem is I don't have any clout. So when I talk to another person in government, they ignore me. If I had clout, I'd be able to get things done. John, apparently you haven't read the prognosis for the planet. Yeah, there's some bad things happening, man. I hate to bring it to you. I hate to bring you the bad news. Yeah, they're trying to kill off the planet. Mombasa is where the pirates, really? Captain Phillips, Navy SEALs rocked that day. Oh, yeah, you're right, Smoking. Yeah, that's Mombasa, man. I thought that was Somalia. Are you sure? I don't think it's Mombasa. David, did you see Obama sign an executive order making it illegal to ask about an applicant's criminal background on a federal job application? Yeah, we featured that earlier, Beekman. That story's pretty messed up. Good, even David, yeah. We featured styrofoam eating worms earlier. Yeah, some really intense stuff. The U.S. government admits that cannabis kills cancer cells. This is an interesting article. The truth about cancer being reduced, the brain cancer cells are reduced by the cannabinoids. Yeah, London Cannabis Club has this featured story. Yeah, interesting. I think the government they're referring to is the UK, I'm not sure. The National Institute of Drug Abuse. Oh, the U.S. government-funded research institution has the mission of leading the nation in bringing the power of science to drug abuse and addiction. They recently updated their site in April to cite a study done at St. George's University in London regarding the medicinal effects of cannabis and brain cancer. So other organizations are studying this. Recent animal studies have shown that marijuana extracts may help kill certain cancer cells and reduce the size of others. This is a major breakthrough. We need to legalize marijuana across the board. It was a ship destined to Mombasa. Okay, thank you, Smoking Jay. I didn't realize it was a ship destined to Mombasa. All right, so there you have it. The proof is in the pudding. Or I should say in the study on cancer and marijuana. Cannabis. Yeah, there you go. Here's the link to prove it. If you want to track out and vet that information, go right ahead. Well, the thing is, you're probably coming from a criminal background. And if you're a criminal, the government wants to hire you. Absolutely. This new executive order by Barack Obama, he wants criminals in the government because basically the government is run by thugs. If they can employ people that like to beat people up, think of the people that'll work at the FEMA camps. Yeah, I mean, the possibilities are enormous for people to be hired who are the worst possible greedy scumbags on earth. Think of the pool of employees, of people that just want to screw people over and beat them up. Yeah. Well, you don't believe in camps, and you won't believe that you're there when you're there. That's kind of a nice way to segregate your thoughts and compartmentalize. So when you're in the FEMA camps waiting to be sent to the gas chambers, you won't believe in them. That's nice. Yeah, TSA already employ criminals straight out of prison, so this is kind of a perfunctory, superficial executive order. They're already hiring criminals. They just want to make it legal. Yeah, we kind of figured that out. Yeah. Well, if you're a social activist, it wouldn't be a problem getting a job, especially under Obama. I mean, he was a community organizer, right? He organized a bunch of people to that's pretty funny, to join his little clique. Yes, here is a prediction that shows the United States. Deagle.com, I featured this before. This is really important, folks. Thank you very much for posting that link, Alpha Geek. Deagle.com is a website that Alpha Geek just put out there that shows you emphatically that the forecast for the American population for 2025 is a reduction of a massive amount of our population. You see at the top, it's I'll point it out here for you. I'll make it simple for you. Right here, the current population 2014 is 319 million people in America. And that's actually more like 322 million, but it's close. And you go down here, forecast for 2025, 65 million. Wow. I mean, the proof is right there in front of you, folks. They are literally trying to depopulate our planet. If you don't vote third party and get this entire plan going for a third party with us and share this great goal of ours, we're never going to get any accountability whatsoever from these people. We'll have people believing I'm in a FEMA camp right now, I just don't know it. Okay, thanks. We'll have people believing that it's okay to have aborted baby fetus parts, FEMA camps, robocops, polluted waters and air, GMO food we're required to eat. Anybody promoting other people running for president will be purged from the show. So basically they've got us all believing that their little plan is going to work. That somehow they're going to reduce carbon emissions by putting us all in the ground, 6 feet under. Technically they're right. They're absolutely right. If they get rid of 95% of the population, ironically, they'll stop spraying pollutants in the air like chemtrails, and then they'll just sit back and try to hope to re-inherit the earth while they get their heads blown off by the last remaining toughest human beings on earth. I mean, even if you're a robot, you're going to face serious hardware trying to take this nation or this earth away from humankind. And let that be a lesson to this brand new program they call JADE 2.0, the artificial intelligence wing of the military-industrial complex. Many people were wondering why was JADE 2.0 or Jade Helm put in our face over the summer. It was an artificial intelligence directive. They simply ordered it and they implemented it. They're literally taking orders from computers now. Dr. Kermit Gosnell is tormented at night by his disembodied spirits of a dead fetus. Well, that gives me something to talk about, folks. The actual truth about abortion. And to give me a little clarity here, I've chosen a clip from Dr. Anthony Levatino in a statement he made about aborted fetuses.
Chairman Franks and distinguished members of the subcommittee, my name is Anthony Levatino. I'm a board-certified obstetrician-gynecologist. I received my medical degree from Albany Medical College in Albany, New York in 1976 and completed my OBGYN residency at Albany Medical Center in 1980. On an ultrasound, that baby would be as long as you're 4 weeks pregnant. 3803 does that. Any competent physician can read the definitions in HR 3803 and understand exactly where that cutoff line is. Imagine, if you can, that you're a pro-choice obstetrician gynecologist like I was. Your patient today is 24 weeks pregnant, measured last menstrual period as obstetricians typically do. At 24 weeks from last menstrual period, her uterus is 2 finger breadths above her umbilicus. If you could see her baby, which would be easy on an ultrasound, that baby would be as long as your hand plus a half, from head to rump, not counting the legs. Your patient has been feeling her baby kick for the last month or more, and now she's asleep on an operating room table, and you're there to help her with her problem pregnancy.
So basically they take forceps and they stick them inside and they pop their little heads. Oh, there's sound. Yeah, they popped their little heads and they pulled out the goop. It's really sick. And if you've been desensitized to the reality that abortion is murder, then I feel bad for you. Hey, I'm stepping up as a pro-choice person and saying, hey, we got a problem here. Okay? We don't disagree. We're both pro-choice. I want first trimester abortions only. That's the only difference. I also don't want abortion mills selling baby parts. Well, it is currently legalized now, yeah. Under Roe v. Wade, they've legalized abortion. You need to get up to speed. Where have you been the past 50 years? Or 45 years? I believe it is murder, yeah. I wouldn't do it. Well, you know, there's talk about people who, this is a completely legitimate discussion. We can talk about cash incentives for people who want to get sterilized. I'd be much rather offering people like a $3,000 amount of money to get sterilized than I would to have aborted babies everywhere. And it wouldn't be something that would define a specific subgroup. Anybody who wanted $3,000 could get sterilized. And that happens to be the cost to reverse the operation if you want your tubes untied. We don't need stem cells, I know. We don't need any of these baby brains being sold everywhere. And the thing about the first trimester abortion law, it limits their bodies to this big. So if they work with anything, it's a small amount of material. And I think the woman who has her baby ripped out of her should sign off on the sale of the part, don't you? I mean, at the very least, if you were to give your body up to science, you'd sign off on it, right? I know. Refried bacon, the problem with regulating fragrances, you can't employ a bigger government to do it. If you run around with the with breathalyzers and scopes like I showed you earlier, olfactory scopes, I mean, you're creating bigger government. I don't want that. Logic is my greatest strength. I have a genius IQ, and I'm logically able to think circles around you. Feel free to test me. No, I don't want to have underage girls get forced to have a baby. No, at all. First trimester law would give underage women, or anybody, any woman, 12 weeks to decide whether they want to keep the baby or not. We could even expand it out to 15 weeks. Apparently the image is haunting Vladimir Putin of this creature from the U.S. lagoon. He is popping up in the weirdest places on airplanes. Apparently he just wants to, you know, call them names or something. I'm not sure what. All right, anyone want to question my logical capabilities? Feel free. Yeah, it is like William Shatner, and now you're going to be looking for William Shatner pictures because that's what you do. But I already have William Shatner pictures, which I can display for you in abundance. Abundanza. Yeah. Welcome to the William Shatner Library of Photographs. Scotty, beam me up. Yeah, we've got lots of these things. Shatner. Shatner hasn't aged well, really? Well, you don't think so? Come on, William Shatner? Are you kidding me? I mean, he doesn't look a day over 60. What is he, 80 now? Rod Serling. Here's a portrait of William Shatner now. He kind of looks like Richard Burton. He's aged perfectly well. I mean, you'd be lucky if you... Sean Connery. I think Sean Connery's aged well. No, I gotta tell you, I mean, I'm impressed. What's his age again? His wife, you know, ended up committing suicide in shallow water. He's aged 84, folks. You're telling me that, seriously, if you were 84 and you looked like this, oh, come on. You got to wonder, I mean, what is he drinking? Wheatgrass? Did he sell his soul to the devil? Does anybody know? What's in his booze? I mean, he must be drinking some really good preservatives to be embalmed this well before he gets to be 90. He was probably infused with stem cells. 40-year-old Scotch is keeping him preserved. He looks 84 to you. That's not a current pick. Okay, let's get a current pick of William Shatner, 2015. Let's see what we got. Hang on. Well, let's be clear. I can give you 2000. Yeah, here we go. This is an appropriate picture. Here we go. This is a candid picture of him walking on the street. This is how he'd appear if you were, you know, out to just visit him. He's not bad for an 84-year-old. Come on. It's pretty impressive to be even overweight and 84 looking like that. Apparently you don't know a lot of 84-year-olds. He has found the fountain of youth. Apparently so. Here's a good pick background. Scissor fight. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's the marijuana plant. They grow these down there in California really high. You can grow 5 of these, I think, in California if you have a permit and for medicinal. 5 of those would definitely support your addiction. You could juice it. Juice it. Juice it. Hey, we haven't played any music tonight. I know. Hey, have we checked the news at all? I mean, I think it's important to touch base on the news just a few times tonight. You notice how we don't talk about the stock market ever again? It's no longer even on our list of things we talk about. It's so irrelevant to the average American, it's who cares? A businessman who has been likened to Trump wins the Kentucky governor race. We need another rich, greedy pig running the state of Kentucky. Wow. Amazing. All these rich, greedy pigs getting elected. Boy, I'm surprised. Aren't you? That they have total control over the entire system and they continue to elect rich, greedy pigs and whatnot. Right, Chad? Yeah. All right. I'm so happy for everybody. Okay. Gosh, you know. Houston voters have rejected a broad anti-discrimination ordinance. Every time the liberals try to push anti-discrimination laws, they run into problems with local, regional governments. A year-long battle over gay and transgender rights that turned into a costly, ugly war of words between the city's lesbian mayor and the social conservatives ended Tuesday. The lesbian mayor in Houston. You can't read that, but in a defeat for supporters of gay rights as voters repealed an ordinance defending against discrimination. Wow, you see, remember I told you that if they try to impose the Supreme Court's ruling, anti-discrimination ruling, across the board, they're going to face numerous regional battles. And by the way, I'm on record asking every state that doesn't support the same-sex marriage rules simply to not give out marriage contracts. I'm against the government getting involved in marriage, period. I kind of sidestepped the whole same-sex marriage law with that concept, simply because I don't understand why they would breach the separation of church and state. Well, look it up. It's the Houston Anti-Discrimination. I'll give you the link location if you want. There you go. You 100% agree? Great. I don't think the government should get involved in personally in marriage. It's a spiritual joining of two people who connubially are united through coitus interruptus. And I don't believe that the government should be in bed with you. You call the local Department of Health when applying a condom to your pee-pee? Oh, hi, I'm just curious if I could get through to somebody. I'm not sure if I'm using this condom correctly. And I want approval from the state to perform coitus interruptus. Could I please? Thanks. I'm on hold with the mayor. I mean, where the hell do they get off telling us what to do with our bodies, our personal life, and our spirituality? Are you high? No, I'm not. Are you? You appear high, Smokin' Jay. You are super high. You're getting higher by the minute, apparently. I don't know what to make of you. You are getting so high you're blowing your mind with highness. Your highness. Okay, let's get some music in here. We got to break out into something fun just to... I haven't played this in a while. It's the Chill Out Chi. Yeah. All right. We covered some tough subjects tonight about abortion mills, Planned Parenthood, now with the 11th video talking about the body parts. Yeah. And then we talked about the ex-White House chef that died about 6 months ago, who supports GMOs, and like Hillary. Ex-White House chef hired by Hillary Clinton found dead. And we featured a really cool program called Ozobot, your game piece with brains. It's a brand new thing that's really exciting. A lot of kids, robots, and how they move around on tables. You can draw a path and it'll follow it. And then the Illinois lottery hasn't paid out on prizes greater than $25,000. They're running out of money. So Barack Obama's home state is almost completely bankrupt. It's too loud. I'll turn it down. All right. And then finally, I guess we have a little something about surveillance. Yeah, surveillance happening. Planes with thermal imaging are going to be used to spy on American people. That article came in. I'm against surveillance drones, by the way, in case you didn't know. Ohio voted down legalizing pot, really? I did not know that. Thank you. And that really interesting site showing the population plans, showing that America's population will be, in 2025, according to this, 65 million people. Folks, they're planning on getting rid of probably 100 and, I'm going to say 240 million people if you can believe that. Depopulation is their plan. Agenda 21 is their agenda. And you are their victim. Unless you're rich, you're nobody. That's why we need to band together and build this third party and get it to the point where we can actually challenge these two parties. And the only way to do that is to actually go to our website, AmericasThirdParty.com, and click on your state, or get a bumper sticker, or print up the poster that I have in the front of the page. Do something. Make a donation, whatever. We're not powered by funding at all right now. We're getting no donations, but we're still pushing for this. We're not giving up. No one can possibly realize the importance of this, because a lot of people are kind of dumbed down and overstimulated and diverted. We're not that way. We're trying to focus here. Okay, I'm not fluoridated. If you are, you're probably sterile. I just think what's going on in the human species is so horrific that it's hard to even process. That's why we bring up Truth Tuesday. And in the spirit of Truth Tuesday, we have to talk about 9/11. We need to talk about a lot of things. We could talk about Sandy Hook and a lot of things, but I'd rather talk about 9/11 tonight. You can donate by coming into the show. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out with us, man. It's a free show. We don't charge you for this. For some of you, it'll be an epiphany, a wake-up call. You're going to be like dazzled by the information I'm going to present to you in a second. It'll be overwhelming. And I'm not going to, freak you out too much, but 9/11 was definitely a cover-up. Definitely. There's no doubt about it. The 9/11 Commission report showed there was no detonations at all. There were no explosions were even entered into the discussion. But there's so many factors to look at with 9/11 that you have to ask, why didn't the FBI release more than 15 frames of a photograph that they claim is of a plane hitting the Pentagon? That's all we got, were 15 frames. There were 83 camera angles of the actual attack, which is kind of disturbing in and of itself. But I'm going to show you a leaked video of a cruise missile that'll blow your mind. Check this out.
Hello, it's Tuesday, July the 26th, 6:14 p.m. It's got this video. I'm sure many have seen this, but I've never seen the captions right here of these little explosions. I circled them that clearly point out there's no huge jet flying into the Pentagon. And right there, I mean, come on, that is not a jet flying into it. Where'd this video surface? Why is this not, more abundantly found on the internet? I have never seen this one. And it's clear it was not a jet. I mean, how much more obvious can it be? It's probably one of those things.
Yeah.
Seems every time I upload something like this, my YouTube gets deleted or the hits go down.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that little hole.
Yeah, look at that.
No way. No way a jet fit in there. Where's the wing?
Where's the wings pat? Where's the wing pattern? Yeah. So there you have it, folks. The most telling evidence of a missile hitting the Pentagon, and the fact that there was no information about explosions brought up in the 9/11 Commission report, and they only spent $15 million of the 9/11 Commission report. Really, that's not a lot of money compared to what they spent on Ken Starr's investigation of Bill Clinton that turned up nothing on Whitewater. They spent $60 million on that. So there's a lot of things that just don't make any sense in this the big picture. There's Bush talking at the classroom. Let me play this clip for you.
Get ready to read all these words on this page without making a mistake. Look at the letter at the end and remember the sound it makes. Get ready. Kite. Yes, kite. Get ready to read this word the fast way. Get ready. Kid. Yes, kid. Sound it out. Get ready. Kid. Sound it out. Get ready. Kid. What word? Kid. Yes, kid. Boys and girls, sound this word out. Get ready. Steal. What word? Steal. Yes, steal. Read these words the fast way. Get ready. Play. Yes, play. Get ready. Must. Yes, must. Let's read these words the fast way without making a mistake. Get ready. Kite. Yes, kite. Get ready. Kit. Yes, kit. Get ready. Steal. Yes, steal. Get ready. Play. Yes, playing. Get ready. Must.
Get ready. Yeah. So, yeah, they were definitely the kids that were destined to talk about the reveal. This was all intentional. They intentionally had those kids read the words kite, hit, steal, plane, must. This was telegraphed. This whole thing was foreshadowed. It was an entire master psyops, including a picture of the president forced to sit there with kids showing his impotence as a leader. Very weird, isn't it? Bet you didn't know that. There's all kinds of telltale signs of people that were witnesses to the events, mysterious deaths of 9/11, all these things that pop up of people dying. So many witnesses of mysterious. The thing these witnesses have in common is that their statements give support to the 9/11 truth movement. So Barry Jennings, witnesses, I'm just going to let them scroll for you to look at. Yeah, I'll play it in the background for you to, while I'm talking. Yeah, very nice and amazing. Lots of people are dead who were witnesses to things that the official talking point and the word on the street was that a plane hit the Pentagon. No, there's no evidence of that. And the only people that really talked about these events were we're paid actors, it seems. Hey, let me show you, like, if you want to see our show, if you go to America's Third Party, you can see our show from the night before. Here I'm talking about some situations like how long it took to, here, that's actually the picture from last night. How long it took Anderson Cooper to come out of the closet. It starts with that. I don't know why they picked that, but I have no control over what they do at YouTube. I could change the picture, but it doesn't matter to me. David, sometimes I think people in DC that are elected need a mental evaluation. I agree, Awesome Carl. There was American Airlines wreckage at the Pentagon. Beekman, you're talking about an event. Are you still clinging to the official 9/11 Commission report view of the Pentagon and everything? Wow. You know, even the Trade Center that went down, and all the rubble. Mayor Giuliani never even protected anybody with face masks. He didn't even distribute face masks for everyone. So 50,000 people are now collecting $7 billion U.S. federal taxpayer money because they have a hard time breathing, and the ones that aren't making it are dying now. Not only did Giuliani not handle that right, but I mean, what they did find in the rubble was a perfectly preserved passport of a terrorist. And within a few hours, they had a list of 17 people that did the act. I mean, don't you find that a little too coincidental? A perfectly mint condition passport at the base of a building with all this dust and everything, and then instantly leading to 17 perpetrators that may or may not exist. You're just talking about rape and abortion right now? Okay, if you want. The recent Powerball numbers are 911, 1911. Are you serious? That sounds like predictive programming. That sounds like that too is rigged. Are you serious? Wow. Powerball numbers. No, I don't see that. Show me a link, because there's nothing here. Yeah, you're making that up. Yeah, the passport thing is a telltale sign that they planted evidence leading to 17 Saudi Arabian people that we never even found. The whole thing is ridiculous. Bertha Champagne, she died. Bertha was the babysitter for 911 perps Marvin Bush's family. Marvin Bush was the guy in charge of Securicom, which handled all the security at the Trade Center up until the last day. The company that provided electronic security to the World Trade Center in the days before the attacks, and provided security to Dulles International Airport, where Flight 77 took off from. He was on board the board of HCC Insurance Holdings, which insured parts of the World Trade Center as well. I mean, this is a big, huge family deal, man. And it turns out that George H.W. Bush pulled out a bond issue for $240 billion in 9/11/1991. And it was coming due. The $240 billion was due September 11th, 2001. And they got rid of all that money. Remember that, you know, Donald Rumsfeld said that there was $2.3 trillion missing from the Pentagon the day before the 9/11 attack. Yeah, there's a lot of weird things going on here. It's not getting old. We choose 9/11 discussions on Truth Tuesday. I don't want you to forget the fact that the FBI only released this information of the Trade Center getting hit, of the Pentagon being hit. This is all we saw, a white streak, as it goes right in there. Look at that. Let's look closer. You're telling me that's a plane, Beekman? Seriously. Even with the 15 frames that they did deliver out of the 83 camera angles that they chose not to deliver, you don't like it because you seem more and more wrong every day. The more we flesh out the truth, Beekman, the more you have egg on your face, because you've been clinging to the official 9/11 story for years. Yeah. All right, I think it's really insensitive for you to talk about it in a way that you don't want to find the perpetrator. Seriously. I think it's really sad that you're clinging to an ancient, ridiculous cover-up, which is clearly shown in every way to be a complete lie. No, it was not. You need to spell plane correctly. Shat. If you want to be part of this shat. Look at a guy on the ground when Flight 93 hit Pennsylvania, and this is what he saw.
On fire, some small fires in the woods, just small brush fires. You know, the ground smoking, debris everywhere, pieces of metal, paper, insulation, wiring. And I just looked around and no people, you know, and I'm thinking, where are the people?
Where have all the bodies gone? Long time covered up. There were no people when the Flight 93 crashed. I've got a woman out here well, this is Deborah Palfrey. Let me turn this up. This is Alex Jones interviewing her.
The fact that you're so visible really protects you going on Larry King and other big shows, but you want to put it on record that you're not planning to commit suicide?
No, I'm not planning to commit suicide. I'm planning to go into court on April 7th if indeed we do have the trial, and I plan on defending myself vigorously, and I plan on exposing the government in ways that, you know, I do not think they want me to expose them.
Yeah. That's an understatement.
Enforcement about their investigation to the D.C. matter.
When she went outside, she noticed the three-wheel bicycle had been moved that was normally kept in the shed. Upon entering the shed located on the west side of the residence, Blanche Palfrey discovered her daughter, Deborah, had apparently hung herself using a nylon rope from a metal beam on the ceiling of the shed. She then called 911.
This is a classic example of how they suicide people. They garrote them and then they string them up. That's how it's done. Okay, it's a simple cover-up homicide. No questions that there is not a serious investigation going on with most of these cases. You know, I forgot something that happened really recently that I think a lot of you need to know is being completely covered up by the mainstream media. It was about a certain person that David Crowley and his wife and child, who were found dead in their Apple Valley, Idaho home. This didn't happen that long ago. David Crowley was working on a book, Gray State, in which it talked about a coming FEMA camp takeover of all our rights, concentration camps for Americans. Now, he can't speak because he's dead. And I can tell you that, you know, moving on to recent, nobody talks about this anymore. I'm perhaps the only person on the internet talking about David Crowley. It's crazy. He was going to produce a really big movie. Alex Jones was involved with him. Adam Kokesh was involved with him. And then they ceased being involved with him, and then he died. They completely got out of involvement with the movie, and then he died. Nobody cares. Nobody seems to care about a man and his wife. They claim it's a murder-suicide. There was no murder-suicide. It's complete lies. So we're discussing lies today on Truth Tuesday. And I think we should discuss some of the other things that are pretty obvious, like the missing evidence. When you go back in history, in the recent history, and look at what Barack Obama has done, dancing around America, pretending like he's, you know, on top of the world, cavalierly extending our war now to Syria, having 3 wars now at the same time, and you Democrats are sitting there going, well, if you give him 1 more year, maybe he'll do something. You got to be brain dead. And if you don't realize you're brain dead, and you were brain dead when you voted for him, then you are brain dead. Clearly, by definition, you would never realize you're brain dead if you're brain dead. So you got this guy running around acting like, you know, you can't question him because he's, you know, you'd be considered racist if you did. Wasting another 8 years, just like Bush wasted 8 years. Pushing for the worst possible things to happen in our country. And then whenever an issue came up about his birth certificate, he instantly covered it up with this elaborate story of how Osama bin Laden was living in a place in Abbottabad, and then he even presented a script to a filmmaker about the whole thing going down the way they said it did. I mean, if I were looking for a chain of evidence, I wouldn't see any. There's no chain of evidence showing me that this guy right here is Osama bin Laden. There's not one bit of proof that the guy they caught was Osama bin Laden, because they won't even show you his dead body. No photograph of Osama bin Laden's dead body has ever been presented. Not one single picture. And clearly this is not Osama bin Laden. I mean, hello? Whatever happened to Osama bin Laden happened perhaps in 2001, but you see all these other fake photographs. This is clearly not Osama bin Laden, and they pushed this video. The CIA had this video playing all over the place for 2 years. No, 9/11 was never something to test U.S. capability. They got rid of all kinds of money during the World Trade Center attack. There was a huge drain of $2.3 trillion. Plus, they won't even show you Osama bin Laden's body being thrown overboard to Carl Vinson. We never got a picture of even a sheet clad in the water floating. Not one person on an aircraft carrier that has 14 or 4,000 members had a camera? You're telling me nobody had a digital camera to snap a picture of Obama's or Osama bin Laden's body out there? We're getting tired of you, Shat. Your last warning on being banned from the show. Beekman, talk about what? You're not even willing to ask simple questions because you're still clinging to the ancient belief that 9/11 is all wrapped up and we need to move on. It doesn't do tribute to any of the people that died to not know the real perpetrators of the crime, for crying out loud. I mean, I'm not casting aspersions on 9/11, the Order of the Garter. I never named them in the case. I never called them out and said that was, you know. It's just a coincidence that their name is 9/11, the Order of the Garter. When you Google it, you'll find an amazing story of black nobility and monarchies and control and evildoers. But in no way am I implying that they're the ones that did it. No. I never said that. But if you want to resurrect somebody to blame, you can certainly start there. You could blame Zionists. You could blame Israel. You could blame Mossad. When it first happened, I was of the belief that Mossad were the only ones that were able to do this. It was too difficult for anyone to do it. You're saying the story about bin Laden's burial is BS? Oh, okay. Well, there is no bin Laden burial. He was thrown out to the sea. Thank you. Okay, we're still there? Okay, I thought you were disagreeing with me about something else. Sorry. Yeah. That's weird. They're strange. It's quite a picture you have there. It's like the Obama playland. It reminds me a little bit of Never Never Land. Instead of Michael Jackson, it's Obama. It's Never Never Change Land, or Change for the Worst Land. Thanks so much for that, sharing that lovely GIF. Well, I would believe a prostitute who knew every inside secret in Washington, D.C. before I believe a government official. I mean, hello. How was that bath? Was it fun?
It was good.
You don't have to come in. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go get some orange juice.
Get some orange juice, sleep, rest. No, I don't go to prostitutes. That's sick. It's nothing to do with her credibility as a person when she tried to out the truth about 911. I mean, hello. Okay, we've got other people. The Cleveland airport. The guy who... The mayor of Cleveland announced that the plane actually landed. 9/11 Flight 93. Here's the Cleveland mayor claiming that the plane landed. 93 landed in Cleveland. It never landed on the ground.
We have a Boeing 767 in a secure area of Hopkins International Airport. The initial reports was that this plane was hijacked and that there was a bomb.
There you go. Cleveland mayor announcing that they landed Flight 93 in Cleveland. It was never a crash. That was all a lie. I have a woman here on cue if you want to hear. She said she actually was kidnapped and forced to pretend like she was one of the people on that plane, Flight 93. Her voice, she heard her voice in the actual flight recording data that they pretended existed. Oh yeah. She said a lot more too. She's actually she was overwhelmed with grief by what had happened. Here's just a sampling of what she said.
I was kidnapped in 1999 during the Clinton administration. My stepdad was the supervisor of logistics. For 2 years, I was tortured prior to 9/11. They killed so many people. There were so many bodies. They trafficked so many drugs, so many weapons.
Okay, so what is your name?
My name is Jasmine Tierra Evans.
Jasmine Tierra Evans, and I overheard you talking about a story that, a personal testimony of yours.
Okay, we have a person here by the name of Refried Bacon who claims that he was on Flight 93. Are you pulling my leg here? No, she doesn't work for Black Lives Matter. This woman can't even be found. This whistleblower, which I will play a little later in the show tonight, is not even around for interview. I've done a trace on her name. She doesn't exist. She's gone. She's been erased. Okay? That's the only video you'll ever see of her, and you'll see that tonight on our show. I'm not gullible at all. She's been deleted. Her parents were both members of the elite staff of Clinton and Bush during the transition period. She cites names, and she even pulls up Facebook accounts where other people who were tortured like her in a child slavery ring down in Mexico, all connected to the Bush family. Oh yeah. She claims to be one of the voices on Flight 93, the down flight that you just heard a guy say there were no bodies. I can't believe some of you, I didn't fall for it, I was kidding. I knew that you were lying to me. Yeah, it seems like many of you have decided to become liars in life and chosen the wrong path. Many of you seem to be, you know, engaging in a daily life of lying. And you don't realize how evil that is. It'll send you to the bowels of hell. You will be living in purgatory for your lies against humanity and your violations against this chat room. You have violated the cardinal rule of the truth on Truth Tuesday, and you are hereby sent to the cauldron of hell. Ah.
Now, when I was down there, I saw a vat of fire. Huge vat of fire with liquid boiling hot lava and God's eternal judgment.
Really?
And I saw demons laughing and dragging souls over and just died from the earth, that it was called the Abominus.
Abominus. See, that's where you're headed if you continue this pathway of lying in my show. Into the boiling hot lava of hell. Sorry. No, I mean seriously, time to, you know, lower the you know, the level of insincerity here. You need to be honest. Truth Tuesday requires honesty from my chatters. Okay, I'm going to give guest chat a try. Give you guys a chance to come on in, guys. See what we got. See if anyone wants to be a legitimate guest. Finally, free to chat. Just do not demoralize us and do not spam, and we'll keep you going. Okay, questions about things that just don't make sense in our country. Did anyone hear Mike Huckabee say during the debate how he has fought the Clinton machine and he has lived to tell about it? No, I didn't miss that. All I know about Mike Huckabee is he released a hardened criminal who ended up killing 4 cops in Tacoma. I don't know how he's going to live that one down. Ping Ching Chong is here. Hello, how is your daily life of 18-hour work shifts? Ping Ching Chong is so proud of his 4-year-old that he's now going to become a manager of the toy factory where he works 12 hours a day. Thank you, Ping Ching, for coming in. Ping in the house. Let's see what he has to say. Hello, kind of man, David. I hope you are well. Internet has been closing in my village a month. I've been working 20 days straight, 16 hours a day. This is what Ping Ching Ching has just said. Folks, you have no idea. Hello, kind of man. Yeah, this is what's happening. Apparently you understand what I'm saying. Thanks for making $69 Fender Stratocaster left-handed guitar that is a clone. Hot Slammer, you got a bone to pick with Fender? Contact them directly or call Ernie Ball or somebody. Yeah. It's really quaint how you allow BSers to lead your chat. I know. And I don't want to do that. I want people to realize that this is an important issue to talk about. The truth. I could bring you a whole litany of things we could talk about tonight. Ping Ching has something else he'd like me to translate? Okay, Ping Ching. Translation engaged. We have translation. He's probably telling me how tired he is. He can't get sleep. He works so 20 days straight, 16 hours a day, just to put $1 of food on his table. Your son will be responsible for overseeing the children's work, and now at his age, he will be 12. He will be a strong man. Wow, 12 years old, responsible for overseeing the children's work. Thank you. Can use your translator, Dave. Yes, I am using my translator. It was installed with my octagonal super fast processor. You wanted someone to challenge your logic, third party, so here for you. Okay, bring it on. Give me some logic. Thank you. Can you determine the ages of the lads, the positions in 2 games? You've been waiting 3 hours in line. 9/11 is real and people died from planes. Yes. Bush had no clue. Okay. Man has went to the moon. Okay. Susan Robbins has regrets for not accepting Robin's needs of forgiveness 1 billion times over when he was alive. What? Guess 756. Are you denying that 9/11 was an inside job? Okay. You're entitled to that belief. David, there's no way you can do video chat on Vaughn. What do you mean? I'm doing it right now. Bush had many clues. Look at those eyes of guilt in that classroom setting where they talk about the kite, the plane, and the steel. With my viewers? What do you mean I can't do Vaughn chat with my viewers? I don't understand. I'm doing it time and time again. I'm proving to you that the president can be transparent. And I've got somebody talking to me in Morse code. China and the U.S. is to be in trouble because the top leaders of the U.S. is to do good business in the Middle East. Putin leaders do to control global war. Yeah. You got a good handle on what's happening, Ping Ching. Our country is meddling in so many affairs around the world that we're becoming the cause of war. What do you mean? I'm doing it right now. Well, I'd love to do live chat, Beekman, but you haven't even called me on the phone. Everyone has my phone number. Yeah, you smart man, Ping Ching. Yes, I am a genius. There was no question. It's a logical improbability. We are all prisoners, rich and poor. I like that. You know, you're right. I'm a prisoner in my own body. I'm trying to astral project, but it's so difficult. Let me see if I can astral project into any one of your houses right now. I'm picking up a yellow lampshade. It's got doilies hanging down from it. It's unusual because they're old lampshades from the 1970s. I'm in your house. Okay, sorry. I'll get out. I didn't mean to astral project in your house. I don't read Morse code during the show. David, when you'll become Supreme Leader of the United States, you need help. Well, I don't need help from China because America has its own problems we need to deal with. Fire. Hellfire. I know. Let me see if I can get into one of your personal private areas. No, not your pants. Thanks. That's a good picture of me. That is the same picture. I'll be darned. That's the same picture on my poster. See that? And you go to our site, America's Third Party, and it's right there. I used the same picture because I drove like 4 hours straight that day to see a guy lie to me to my face, tell me he was somehow a member of the 101st Airborne or something. I mean, literally drove to visit this guy and he completely lied to us. But yeah, that's the picture in our poster. See? I just kind of tilted it a little bit. Pretty cool, huh? At least something positive came out of that day. No, I don't believe China is going to invade us, Awesome Carl. China is too busy dealing with a environmental crisis and a population problem. I know, we all need help. You know these liars, Katerina? Thank you. Make a note of who's lying to you and write a book. Call the book Liars and Scumbags Who Screwed Me Over. I was thinking of writing that book myself, but you can take the title. Yeah, I know. You know, I'm becoming a little jaded about all the lying that's been going on in our society. Oh, you gave me the Morse code translator. Thank you. I'll go back and translate your statement. I wouldn't want to miss it. Using Morse code translator. I won't repeat what you said because obviously you didn't say it. Oh, it's time for Sponheim. in Morse code. Thank you. Well, you know, you might be a prisoner. I got out of debt when I was a young man and remained out of debt for a long, long time. And I will remain out of debt my whole life because I live like a cheapskate. I have to admit it now. I mean, Sarah finally called me on it. She said, David, just admit it. You're a cheapskate. Yeah, I am kind of. But I buy people gifts, and I'm generous when I can be. I try to give a little bit of your life. I try to be giving. Why pen and paper are making a surprising comeback. Wow. Really? Isn't it? Apple's now actually making a pen. Wow. Well, that's a really boring story you just brought in, to be honest. Ping Ching Chong, you're very active today. Have you been eating too much of that tainted green tea or something? Ping Ching Chong has perhaps green tea contamination. Toxicity is extreme in China. We found out that a lot of the green tea is toxic. David, I'm very happy because we can have more than one child now. I came to the U.S. a few months ago because my wife would give birth to twins, so we have 2 U.S. citizens. Okay. So that's a big thing in China now, is to come over to America and give birth to your babies and have anchor babies. Beekman, I'm sorry, I'm not going to allow you to post very bad things in our show. That's a libelous statement by Rolling Stone about me. Claiming that I am a fringe, bizarre candidate. It was bad because I don't think it's promoting me at all. It's calling me a bizarre fringe candidate. That's wrong. It's not even addressing any of the questions and the issues that I talk about nightly. If you think climate change is happening because you believe in reptiles, you've been completely fooled by the government. The truth is, there are numerous websites out there that talk about chemtrails with reptilians, and they are all created by the government. David, they were saying in the article that there are tech companies using pen and paper, so when their networks go down, they have a backup plan. Oh, okay. But I don't think that the companies realize that when the networks go down, their business is history. I don't think they realize that their business is going bye-bye with pen and paper regardless. Okay, thanks, Super Dave. You're making a lot of sense. Not. Yeah, if I'm a bizarre fringe candidate, then Katerina is willing to say that you should die a lying reptard. Ping Ching, thank you for your response, but you're a little bit too verbose tonight, and it's getting tiring to cut and paste here. It's a great honor to have an American child, you said. I said I would come to the Americas, not with the children. Okay, well, good for you. You somehow managed to have an anchor baby, Ping Ching. I've heard stories like this happen time and time again. People pay to have 20 women from China come into their home pregnant to birth their child here in America. Yeah. Hey, free gum? Don't tell that to Sarah. She hates gum. The gum wall. For the first time in 20 years, Pike Place's Market's famous gum wall is getting a scrubbing. I'm so glad that she doesn't even know that this exists. The gum wall. That is disgusting. Yeah. It's grown 8 feet with 54 feet wide. People just chew gum and then put their spent gum there. No, I don't believe in the butterfly effect. I believe in the moth effect, Ted. It's far more realistic. Butterflies are too unpredictable. And they're all dying off, you know. But if a moth ends up, you know, fluttering its wings, it's a sign of something special. Let's move on. You have delusional thinking. I don't suffer from that. Hey John, I had the pleasure of working for Elections Canada this year. They paid me $300 to count votes as a recording officer. Real paper ballots, democracy. Yeah, you guys in Canada are trying your hardest to live in a potentially democratic nation. Good for you. It's too bad you're picking, you know, the sons of famous leaders, but whatever. At least he seems like a nice guy. He seems like he has the right attitude toward legalization of marijuana and also getting out of Syria and Turkey. You said you'll go to America with your baby twins. You had time to talk to you, sir, because I have a holiday one day. I worked 19 days around the clock, 18-hour days. Ping Ching, you're amazing. David, do you cut your own hair? No, my program is designed to auto-cut. It never grows. Of course I cut my own hair. What do you think I am? Rich? Okay, what specifically is the difference between cereal and soup? The obvious difference is consistency, texture. Shat says I look the same every night. Are you a robot like Hillary? No. I am not a robot. You can't pin that on me. I mean, of course I cut my own hair. Do you think I'm rich or something? I mean, only rich people have $30 or $25 to go to Supercut anymore. Yeah. The real problem that you should be focusing on is not my hair. Have a great Wednesday tomorrow. Thank you, Carl. Thanks for coming in, man. We're about to end the show here. I want to remind all of you of the endless pollution that's dumping into our atmosphere every day. It's disgusting, isn't it? He is Max Headroom. That's why he always looks the same. That is an outrageous statement. Max Headroom is a bad copy of me. When I first came into the scene in Hollywood, people saw me and saw what I did, and then they produced the movie Max Headroom, and everyone said, Dave, you are Max Headroom. And I have a feeling somebody was at the Comedy Store that night when I did the Max Headroom routine. I know. I did this one show on amateur night, Monday night, in the Comedy Store in Hollywood. And the routine was an enormous success. People said, whoa, you're incredible. And the guy I was doing the routine with, they didn't comment about. He went on to become a lawyer. He tried comedy, but it didn't work out for him. No, we never had relations. I never met that person online. I have no idea who you're talking about, other than rumors. You know, I can't bring you Sarah tonight because she's really feeling kind of sad. I mean, it's not sad, but sick. She's feeling sick. Yeah. I'm sad that she's feeling sick. Sarah did an amazing job on our Halloween special, and she did perhaps 4 different outfits with hairdos that were stunning. And I just did a routine last night with this hair. I thought I'd try a different look. And people thought it was kind of fun. It was kind of a, you know, surfer dude kind of thing. No, you're not. I've got the chicken soup cooking in the stove. And by the way, the best thing about the chicken soup, the 2 ingredients you got to put in the chicken soup are garlic and oregano and onion. Those are the natural antibiotics. That will help prevent your immune system from being overtaken by the virus. 25 million Americans speak English poorly. And Donald Trump is one of them. There are 350 languages spoken in the U.S. That's fascinating. But 25 million U.S. residents speak English poorly. Yeah, that's because the Democrats have allowed so many illegals into our country, like Ping Ching Ching can come in and just have an anchor baby anytime he wants. Well, you know what I mean by oregano. I'm saying oregano, oil of oregano is a very good antimicrobial. Garlic keeps, yeah, there's the old wives' tale that turns out to be true, that garlic actually thins the blood, therefore good for heart attacks and heart issues, and it keeps colds at bay. If you plant garlic around your house, you'll keep ants away from your house. Believe it or not, it's a natural anti-ant capability. Anti-ant. Garlic. It has to be growing fresh, though. No, I'm sexually not active per se. If you're saying do I fool around, no. You must rest. Thank you for talking to me. Chinese love you. Thank you, Ping Ching. Good night. He's working 18-hour days, folks. A man was murdered at the Comedy Store last month, Rick? Wow. Thanks for sharing. Well, I'll give her a back rub for all of you. Make her feel better, because she's got that achy feeling that comes when you get maybe a flu. Good night, Mommy. I don't know if I want to see that. Ben Carson jokes. Wow. Well, this could be a really interesting position for Ben Carson to joke about American. Let's see what Ben Carson did by sticking his foot in his mouth here. Yeah, I don't think I can even bring her into the living room because she's got, you know, that she has to stay warm. So, good night, Katerina. I'm going to be signing off too shortly. Thanks everybody for coming in. I am ending the show, but I keep the show going on videos well into the night. I'm going to try to play this Ben Carson thing right now. And then I'll bring you more of that video of that woman who claimed to be a witness to 9/11 and she says she was one of the voices on the Flight 93. Let me hear what Ben Carson has to say about people, though. People who need people are the luckiest people in the world. Chicago, AP. Authorities will announce that a Northern Illinois police officer whose shooting death led to a massive manhunt in September killed himself. An official briefed in the crime investigation told the AP. Thank you. Did. Thank you for coming in, Don. For sure, dude. Like, we play all kinds of stuff. Well, we are back tomorrow with Wasteful Wednesday, so it's not like the end of the year. No, dude, like, I'm not stoned, man. It's just, you know, like I'm doing a show every night, you know. Thank you for coming in and sharing on this wonderful night. But this Ben Carson thing is not popping up. Okay, I think we're done here. Yeah. Interesting stories. Dynamic information. Continue. Yeah, the Ben Carson thing. Wisecracks, many Americans are stupid. Is this guy running for president or is he just an idiot? Okay, let's just take a look here. Mr. Affirmative Action graduate Ben Carson, a retired neurosurgeon, joked last year during a book tour that many Americans are stupid. Mother Jones on Tuesday flagged the remark from Carson's October 19, 2014 speech at the Richard Nixon Presidential Library. Ben Carson on Americans being stupid. Oh no. 1745 is the mark. Here we go.
Good afternoon, everybody. Well, first of all, I would never do that because I think we saw the result of that when Ross Perot ran. And so you don't want to fracture the vote. So if I ran, I would have to run as a Democrat or Republican. And I seriously doubt that I would be welcome in the Democrat Party. So if I ran, I would run as a Republican. But you have to... But as far as all the corruption and the graft and stuff that's going on, and a lot of people say you can't participate in that kind of system unless you adopt those morals. See, I don't believe that for 1 second. And I think that there are enough people here with integrity, and we have the ability, particularly with social media now, even if all the media tries to shut you down, which they have tried very much to do with me, but they can't, because the good Lord has provided me with mechanisms like my syndicated column and like Fox News. We'd be Cuba if there were no Fox News.
Wait a second.
Tell you. But and you know, they can twist and turn things as much as they want, but what they don't understand, and they miscalculated. They were doing a great job in terms of fundamentally changing this nation, in terms of infiltrating the school systems, in terms of infiltrating the media, all this. They've done a great job. Everything was perfect, except they underestimated the intelligence of the American people. The people are not as stupid as they think they are. What they don't understand, and they miscalculated. They were doing a great job in terms of fundamentally changing this nation, in terms of infiltrating the school systems, in terms of infiltrating the media, all this. They've done a great job. Everything was perfect, except they underestimated the intelligence of the American people. The people are not as stupid as they think they are. Many of them are stupid, but
I think he's stupid in and of himself. I mean, yeah, is he doing a little bit of his own medicinal heroin? I don't want to look at. I've said that the American people need to wake up and realize the direction our country's going in is clearly been dominated by the two parties. And I've even said that, yeah, there is a problem where we need to get more informed voters. Many of them are stupid, yeah. We come together in space. He says what I'm saying. Hey, I'm not going to beat him over the bush here with you know, attacks on what he said. But I am concerned about the fact that he doesn't recognize that the two-party system is a failure. That's a problem in and of itself. He doesn't recognize the dangers of vaccines. Many Republicans do. He doesn't recognize the lack of science behind vaccines or the problems with GMOs. He doesn't seem to understand the problem with fluoridation in our water system. He doesn't speak on any issues like these issues. He hasn't even brought up Fukushima once. He's never mentioned the radiation problem emanating from a dangerous, one of the worst disasters in human history unfolding right now as we speak, and not one Democrat, Republican is talking about it. I played the video to see if he outright called people stupid. It's not important to me whether he wants to talk around the obvious elephant in the closet, which is, yeah, people need to wake up and, you know, find a better solution. And if getting an active voting population to switch parties and create a third party has to be done, then it has to be done. He didn't mention a third party. He never mentioned anything like that. I mean, I would much rather hear a person talk on these points of reference, not the ones they talk about, the talking points that the media generates for them. The problem with the Republicans and the Democrats is everything's scripted. If you're a Freemason or have a master's degree, you need to remember the degree level 1 or foundation levels of entry levels. Sorry if you've forgotten, oh dear. We're not in any way involved with the Freemason secret society. I have no affiliation with the Masons and never will. Thank you, Skib. Yeah, I mean, if you're here to push your agenda of Freemasonry, you're part of the problem. We don't need secret societies and cronyism in politics. We don't need these corrupt people telling us that their cronies are better off leading our nation. Exactly. I am the free ketchup guy. I do like free ketchup. I admit that sometimes I take a few free ketchups home with me and put them in my survival kit because they are a very valuable source of lycopene. I do that with free mustard too. Well, the problem with the Democrats and Republicans is they think that they know better for the greater good for all of us, and that's not the case. We are seeing that Republicans and Democrats produce nothing. They are the worst congressional legislators ever. They've got the most lame duck Congresses in history. Every year they produce less legislation than they did the previous year. And it's always crony legislation protecting their moneyed interests. We could do a lot, but we need to get on the ballot in a state. Now, I'm here as an eternal dedication to a principle. I'm not here for personal gain, so the outcome of any one election doesn't faze me one iota. I'm actually here for the simple purpose of doing what has to be done. A third party needs to be formed to break this tyranny of the two-party system and make sure they know that the American people will not stand for this corruption, violation of our freedoms, systematic degradation of our environment, outsourcing of American jobs. I mean, the list goes on, and they're all to blame. The two parties are to blame. Anyone can see that. Whether you're on the left or the right of the political spectrum, you can see it now. One of the leaders of the Ku Klux Klan is busted for having sex with a black male prostitute. And why is that important to me, Earth Sky? I mean, really. I mean, even that story is kind of irrelevant, don't you think? No, I can't help you out in terms of homelessness. I will provide, as president, I'll provide tent cities for everybody in America and a homestead renewal plan to get a house, to own a house, to have the dream of home ownership someday. And if you're on Section 8 vouchers, we're going to make sure you're in facilities that are run by the government, not by... Now, this is not all true, that I would take away good running operations on Section 8. But the really bad ones, where the slumlords are screwing up and not even taking care of the residents where you're living in, I want that to be a government operation. And why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we loop the capital coming out of the vouchers, the Section 8 vouchers? Why would we give it to slumlords? Like the guy that got Barack Obama elected, Tony Rezko, who served in jail for racketeering. He got over $100 million in HUD money because he gave Barack Obama $350,000 in election donations. Pretty good deal for a man giving out $350,000 and gets $100 million in revenue. No, I do not collect welfare and never have collected any federal money at all. I think I got a rebate one year on one of my tax returns, but I'm not a person who collects. I'm not living on the dole. An awesome video for the after show. Tony Rezko is a known criminal. "30 minutes of sun in multiple wavelengths from NASA's Goddard Station." Are you a representative of NASA and the chemtrail program, Beekman? Because it seems like you're totally in favor of NASA when we are alerting people to the fact that NASA's been spraying chemicals on top of our heads for years. Rezko hooked up Obama up with his hosts. Yeah, I know. Rezko sold Obama's house. I did look it up. But he also made $100 million from HUD on donating $350,000 over a 5-year period to Obama's campaign. I know what they did, man. They made all kinds of things happen. I know about Rezko, baby. Oh, God, he believes in chemtrails. Oh, my God. I can't even believe you're in my room. You got to go away. I'm banning the law here. Thank you. Yeah, folks, let me show you a NASA scientist admitting that they are spraying chemtrails in the air. Okay? It's not a big deal. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm awake. Don't worry. It isn't any secret the government is working on weather modification. Well, tell that to the idiot I just banned the law here. It's no secret, yeah, but everybody who thinks that you mentioned chemtrails says that you're, oh yeah, you're one of those people. I get so tired of that. It's like they completely dispense with you as though you're some sort of a whack job when you're telling them the truth. It's bizarre, really. I'm focused, yeah. We showed you a leaked video of the cruise missile hitting the Pentagon tonight. We had alien visitations. I don't believe in aliens, by the way. This is about as fake as it gets. I think it's some sort of an absurd, almost a distraction. The alien agenda, all that crap. I don't believe it. But whatever. I'm pulling up a... Okay, I'll unban him. But chances are you're not going to wake him up. You're getting sleepy. Look into the vortex. Your eyes are getting droopy.
Wind in the upper atmosphere moves.
Mm-hmm.
In these chemtrails, there's different kinds of chemtrails, as you probably know. Different trails at night we use and different trails during the day. The wind, how the wind in the upper atmosphere moves.
Mm-hmm.
In these chemtrails, there's different kinds of chemtrails, as you probably know. Different trails at night we use and different trails during the day. The wind, how the wind in the upper atmosphere moves.
Mm-hmm.
In these chemtrails, there's different kinds of chemtrails, as you probably know. Different trails at night we use and different trails during the day. The wind, how the wind in the upper atmosphere moves.
Mm-hmm.
In these chemtrails, there's different kinds of chemtrails, as you probably know. Different trails at night we use and different trails during the day.
All right, I think you got the rundown from a NASA guy at Goddard Space Station. And I will play that video of NASA, supposedly 30 minutes of thermonuclear art. The sun in Ultra HD. I don't know if I can put up with 30 minutes of it, but I will give it a shot. All right, thanks everybody for coming in. Many of you have kind of shocked that I don't believe in aliens. That's okay. I am also of the belief that I will follow through with the Full Disclosure Project. The Stephen Greer Project, CSETI has put together to get total honesty from our government. When I'm president, I will reveal the truth about aliens. And be prepared, it may be an elaborate cover-up when I find out. But it could also be an actual truth. I mean, the possibility of other life forms, I agree, is definitely there. But are they aliens that have come and abducted you anally? I don't know. I would never join a group of secret society members that would clearly want to manipulate and alter the course of my presidency. I will never join the Masons or any other secret society. I am beholden only to the American people. And I want all of you to know that I want to support legalization of marijuana. That's perhaps more important than anything. And if you don't tell people about the legalization campaign coupled with our third party, you're blowing it, because we're the only fast way, the fast track to getting legalization across the board, across the nation. We won't have to wade through all these state laws changing. Once I remove marijuana from the list of controlled substances, then we will be looking at a brand new country with new economic opportunity.
Naming lights now. Those country chickens will go to the hatch.
Spanky, Darla, Buck.
Okay, we're going to be watching Little Rascals tonight, Beekman. Are you like regressing or something? Is this some sort of regression therapy you're putting yourself through? My position on the Masons is I'm against them. The idea of secret societies are wrong in and of themselves. Most groups should be more transparent with their intent. If they're going to control American politics secretly and do it privately and through covert means, like John F. Kennedy said, we don't need that infiltrating our political structure, and it already has. Thank you. And thanks everybody for coming in, and I appreciate your input tonight. It's always important to talk about the issues, and no night is going to be exactly like the other night. We'll talk about new things every night. So we've got over I guess 600 videos in archive. You can certainly watch our show at YouTube by going to our website, AmericasThirdParty.com. Alrighty. True story, huh? Okay. I don't go to Bohemian Grove gatherings either. I would never go. Hope springs eternal, and hope rings eternal. That's right. All right, here she is, everybody. I'll be back later to chat with people in the show. You guys can hang out and talk. Feel free. And thanks, guests, for being nice.
I was kidnapped in 1999. The Clinton administration, my stepdad was the supervisor of logistics. For 2 years, I was tortured prior to 9/11. They killed so many people. There were so many bodies. They trafficked so many drugs, so many weapons.
Okay, so what is your name?
My name is Jasmine Tierra Evans.
Jasmine Tierra Evans, and I overheard you talking about a story that, a personal testimony of yours. Can you just describe what, maybe basically from the beginning, what happened? You said you got kidnapped.
I got kidnapped in 1999. It was within 5 months of my mom meeting my stepdad. They had met at the Pentagon. My mother was over the Ballistics Missiles Defense Organization. She had an agenda that year that she was over to rewrite for the federal government. And she also had a contract with the Treasury Department. My stepdad had a declassified position that was at the White House that I wasn't allowed to know about, but his position was the supervisor of logistics. Within 5 months of my mom meeting my stepdad, this during the Clinton administration, I get kidnapped.
And who kidnapped you?
I don't know who he was. He looked like president, like a mix between President Barack Obama and Jay-Z.
So he was a black guy?
He was definitely a black gentleman. He had a New York City police badge.
And where did he kidnap you?
He kidnapped me from my house.